Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto can control up to 8 tails before Chunin exams. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Darling in the Fox and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Naruto, found you Iruka-sensei. A 9-year-old Naruto said to the scarred Chunin. With a swift firm smack to the back of the head, Iruka shouted back, I found you, you idiot. Eyes to the ground. Naruto didn't say a word. Naruto, when are you going to take your studies seriously? Frowning, Iruka continued, at this rate you'll fail the academy, Naruto. With a faint mumble Naruto responded, it's not like they listen to me. Say again? They don't listen to me. They look down on me and ignore me and go out of their way to make my life hard. I've tried, sensei. I really have. Naruto frowned and sighed. I can't learn when they won't teach me. Naruto. Iruka sighed. Flashback. Iruka, yes Lord Third? Naruto is a very special boy, a boy who I have no doubt has the potential to be the most gifted shinobi ever produced by the Hidden Leaf. However, talent, like using water for power, must be tapped and cultivated to be molded into something greater. The most gifted Lord Third? Iruka replied, eyes wide. Iruka, what I'm about to tell you is an S-class secret, known only to 6 people in this village. I tell you because you have shown to me you care for the boy. Lord Hokage are yo. With a stern tone, Hiruzen cut him off. Iruka, please just listen. Many mistakes have been made by this old man, many I very much regret. Sarutobi said in an almost weak voice. He suddenly regained the tone of a battle-hardened Hokage and continued on, however, Uzumaki Naruto will not be one of these many mistakes. For Naruto is not only the hero of the Hidden Leaf for jailing the 9 tails, but he is the son of our very own 4th Hokage. Iruka's eyes shot wide and his mouth would have dropped open, were it not for his restraint as a shinobi. The son of Lord 4th, and all this time we've. Indeed it was Minato's wish for Naruto to be seen as a hero. Hiruzen sighed. I may have failed Minato, but I will not fail young Naruto. Please Iruka, instruct him to the greatest of your ability, and lay the foundation for him to become a splendid shinobi. Flashback end. Alright then. Iruka suddenly shouted. A sensei? Naruto, do you wish to learn, and become a splendid shinobi? Of course. I really do want to learn, sensei. But do you really think I can be a good ninja? Iruka smiled down at the boy, ruffled his hair, and replied, Naruto, I believe you have what it takes to not only become a wonderful shinobi, but also the greatest Hokage. Naruto's eyes widened at that statement, and for the first time, he felt the determination and resolve in him harden into something he knew that was completely unbreakable. Little did Iruka know, he had just placed Uzumaki Naruto on a path that would later become one of legend. Alright Naruto, meet me outside the academy an hour after classes are out every day. Got it? Yes sensei. 3-year time skip. Over the next 3 years, Iruka gave extra training and lessons to Naruto to help him catch up on what he had been missing because of the Bias Academy teachers. Iruka taught the basics of shinobi to Naruto, Tai, Nin, and Genjutsu. Although, as it turns out, Naruto is terrible at Genjutsu, and it seems he may actually be incapable of it. However, Iruka learned many things about the once thought dead last. By now, he had raised to number 2 in the class, just behind Uchiha Sasuke. Naruto, as it turns out, was quite a bit more like his father than Iruka ever could have originally thought. It seemed now that he was no longer desperate for attention or any sort of acknowledgement. He had put aside his exuberant, brash, and inattentive actions, and began to lose his lack of formality or social standings. Naruto's true personality with a proper adult influence in his life had become something quite akin to his father's. He seemed to be more perceptive and collected. For the most part, he was respectful, but could still be overly excitable and quick-tempered. He still possessed his indomitable spirit and fierce ambition that drove him through all his choices in life. He is of unwavering loyalty to Konoha and his precious people. The young Uzumaki proved to be mature and very serious. He had also shown to have a sharp wit, carefully thinking before acting and able to see the underlying nature of the situation at hand, while, for the most part, remaining calm and collected. He had since changed his clothing styles and upgraded his gear. Along with these changes, he had let his hair grow to the point that it had started to imitate Minato's. It was a wonder why the villagers never noticed the uncanny resemblance. One of his greatest strengths was when it came to close-range combat. He had surprised his faithful instructor with his talent. The most impressive part was his seamless mastery over the substitution. The scarred Chunin had never seen someone use the technique in such a way before. Naruto's style of combat has become truly unique in a way completely unexpected. Through the use of lightning-fast substitution with kunais, he'd found a way to almost instantaneously close a gap in close quarters as well as get behind his foe in seconds. The only problem Naruto had with his new technique was replacing himself with something so small was extremely taxing on his stamina and his chakra reserves. If he didn't focus enough during the execution, an unnecessary amount of residual chakra would slam back into his chakra coils, putting immense strain on them, effectively semi-handicapping his super trump card. Naruto had undergone almost brutal training on chakra control from his instructor to try to get the clone jutsu down. In the end, after finally being able to do the leaf-sticking exercise, the boy was able to make the clone if done in sets of 4. Among the many accomplishments Naruto had made in the past 3 years, one was very special to him. His first real friend. And the second person to acknowledge him, even though the bastard would never admit it. Sasuke acknowledged Naruto's skill, not that Naruto gave him much of a choice. They met up for spars or jutsu practice almost every day before or after the academy. Together they had honed their taijutsu to near perfection, along with drilling chakra control into their skulls. Unless at the training grounds they never talked very much. It had also been pretty difficult for the rest of the students of the academy to accept that the one person Sasuke talked to was Naruto. A dull thunk was heard as a small male academy student landed in the dirt. "Winner Inuzuka Kiba!" came the loud and authoritative voice of Yumano Irika. A loud laugh rang out for the victorious boy. "Yeah, anyone else want some?" Kiba stood in the fight circle with a feral grin on his face. "I'll happily take my chances," a calm voice called out, belonging to one Uzumaki Naruto. Walking out toward the fighting mat, standing at a solid 5 foot 2 inches tall, Naruto was about equal in height with his classmates, and in some cases he was physically taller than some students. A long overdue change-up in his diet was practically forced upon him by Irika, although he still managed to put down at least 3 bowls of ramen each day. Dressed in a black t-shirt with orange stripes in the middle of the sleeves, metal arm protectors, leather straps around his back and chest, and dark pants, Naruto really did look the part of a shinobi. "Do you have the energy to run another match, Kiba?" asked the scarred Chunin, with a slightly concerned look. "For a scrub like Naruto?" Kiba laughed. "Of course I do, sensei." Kiba cracked his knuckles with a predatory grin. "Act cocky all you want, Kiba. I respect your skill, but you and I both know it's been a year and a half since you've beat me in a spar." "I'm no scrub," Naruto countered with a half-smile. "Alright, Naruto versus Kiba," Irika announced and held up his hand. "Ready?" A resounding yes from both boys was heard. "Begin!" Instantly Naruto was on Kiba, charging in with a burst of speed to send a right hook at the dog whisperer. Kiba was put on the defensive, but the boy was no pushover. Considering his training in his family's taijutsu, he was one of the best in the academy. But Naruto's hard work and inherently prodigal mind had turned him into a polished and effective neutralizer. Kiba threw a hard right cross at Naruto, who let it hit, but only to grab Kiba's arm and slam him to the ground. 2 quick consecutive hits to the back of the head on the way down sent Kiba's head reeling with stars in his eyes. Managing to right himself and continue fighting, he charged in at Naruto, connecting his fist to his target's abdomen. Taking the hit, he launched back, observing the feral boy. Naruto waited for him to reinitiate. The marked boy rushed in low and attempted to sweep out the blonde's legs. The attack was dodged and he immediately made space. But in a burst of speed, Naruto was at his side with a spin kick to his left hip. The sound of Naruto's foot connecting resounded and the feral Inuzuka was sent flying out of the fight area. "Winner Uzumaki Naruto," the instructor announced. "Alright, make the unison sign." Kiba and Naruto met in the middle and smiled at one another. Quickly making the sign and then letting go, they broke apart. Sliding his hands into his pockets and slowly walking away, Naruto smiled, considering his progress in the last 3 years. "I will be Hokage one day, and I'm just one step closer every day," thought the blonde. As other students began to duke it out, Naruto stood unmoving, staring at the Hokage mountain. "Naruto, what are you doing?" asked a rather large boy crunching on a bag of chips as he spoke. Naruto spun around to face the voice and immediately saw who was speaking. "Oh, sorry Choji, I was just thinking about how hard I had to work to get here and how much harder I'm going to have to work in a week after we graduate," the golden-haired boy said with a smile. "Man, you're so troublesome, Naruto. Working so hard is a drag. I don't understand how you can go at it like that." A spiky ponytailed boy in his trademark lazy and irritated tone. "Of course you wouldn't understand, Shika. Your goal in life is to be mediocre. But me, I'm aiming for the top." Naruto called up to him with a ear-to-ear grin. Dead last? As if you'll ever hit the top," rang the voice of one Uchiha Sasuke. "It's been a long time since I've been the dead last," Sasuke called Naruto. "You're still loser though," the black-haired boy replied with a glare at the subtle insult. "Alright, enough you two. Class is over. Everyone head home," called out the Chunin instructor. "Later guys," Naruto called out as he took off down the street. The blonde academy student made his way toward training ground 14, one that wasn't often used by anyone in Konoha's shinobi forces. Made up of a medium-sized clearing with a small stream running through it, it was a quiet and secluded space. Naruto approached the water and slowly stepped onto it to continue practicing water walking. With his high chakra reserves, the Hokage and Irika-sensei had deemed it best that he learn tree climbing due to his high need for chakra control. Later down the line he had seen a few leaf nins sparring in another training ground and had watched as they ran across water. Logically he deduced that the tree climbing exercise would be practical for use of walking across water. Over the course of the next 4 months, he had practiced to the point he could steadily walk on water but still needed to concentrate fairly hard in keeping his chakra in check. His goal now was to do it subconsciously. He began throwing kunai at targets he had set up, simultaneously moving across the water, but halted when he sensed the chakra signature appear behind him. "Can I help you, Nico-san?" he asked to said ANBU agent as she appeared seemingly out of thin air. They had long since stopped being surprised at his ability to sense them. Flashback: Naruto sat at the stall in Ichiraku with the Hokage as they chatted about Naruto's schooling. So Naruto, how is your TR? Oh hey Nico. Naruto interrupted the aged shinobi. As a ANBU with a cat mask suddenly appeared behind them. Naruto, how did you know Nico was here? Asked the slightly surprised leader. Why? Oh, I'm not sure, I guess I just kind of well knew. I felt her, I suppose? Why? Is that strange? Donning a look of slight concern, the boy asked. Wait, did I do something wrong? The Hokage chuckled and looked down at Naruto. No, my dear boy. It's just uncommon. It seems you have a fairly rare ability among shinobi. Naruto's facial expression went from concern to shocked, and then to excitement. A rare ability? No way. Do I have a sweet, awesome bloodline technique, or something? I knew I was the best, you know. Chuckling again with a grin of his own but speaking in his professor voice, Sarutobi started. No, young man. Not a bloodline, but you do seem to be a sensor. This is quite a convenient ability to have for a shinobi. You can sense chakra signatures of others around you. Try stretching your chakra. OU. Clearing her throat rather loudly and interrupting Nico, announced her leader. Hokage-sama, please, you are needed urgently by the council. I apologize for my interruption, but this is very important. Ah, yes, my dear. All right then. Sorry, my boy, but I must be going. The duty of the Hokage calls. Hiruzen said. Don't worry, old man, you won't have to do it much longer because I'm gonna come get that hat from you soon, you know. Naruto shouted at the back of the aged Kage as he made his way off with the ANBU. I look forward to that day then. Hiruzen stated with a chuckle. Flashback, and the ANBU agent looked at the blonde and responded. Lord Third Hokage has requested your presence in the tower. Please come with me. Right. Let's get going then. Naruto said, gaining a serious look on his face as the agent used the body flicker to take them both to the office of the Kage. Lord Third, sir? Naruto stated as they entered. Ah, hello Naruto. I trust you're working hard in your training? Walk with me, boy. Hiruzen began to walk out the door and head up the stairs to the roof of the tower. I am, Hokage-sama. I'm working on my water walking right now. If you don't mind my asking, why am I here? Naruto asked while rushing to catch up to the elder. They arrived on the roof overlooking the village. It was sunny and warm with a cool breeze floating through the air. The Hokage passed his gaze over the village and then behind him and up at the Hokage mountain. Naruto, my boy, you'll be a ninja soon if you pass your test at the academy. Assuming you will, and I do believe you are capable, there are many things you need to be informed of. Naruto, donning a look of confusion and suspicion on his face, then asked, What do you mean by that, sir? There are things you need to know to help with your development as a shinobi and your service to the village. I also intend to, upon your reaching the rank of genin, inform you of the identity of your mother, my boy. Hiruzen said, gaining a softer look and a sad tone in remembrance of Kushina as he finished his statement. Eyes widening and tears slightly appearing in the corners of his eyes as he began to slightly shake, Naruto peered up at old Sarutobi. And my mother, old man? Why, you knew her? My real mother? You never told me. Taking a deep breath to calm himself, he continued, I'm sure you had your reasons, sir, but why did you never tell me? That I did. I knew her quite well in that right. I couldn't tell you because your mother had many enemies. But after you graduate, you will know, my boy. Hiruzen sighed, saddened by the way the boy completely controlled his almost breakdown, but inwardly gained a new respect for the boy's discipline and his emotions, a key necessity in the life of a shinobi. Only a week was left before the genin graduation exams. Naruto was slightly excited, but still kept himself well composed. He had finished his water walking training and now had a much better grasp on his chakra control. He had also gained better mastery of his most prized and favorite technique, the substitution with his kunai. He was now able to do it a total of 8 times during spars with Sasuke or training sessions without tearing apart his chakra coils. He could still use the substitution in its usual implications, like substituting a log with no problems, even after using his kunai substitution. Still, substituting the kunai was very strenuous. He needed to let himself rest afterwards so his coils could expand and cushion themselves from more of the extreme stress the technique would cause. Honing his taijutsu and ninjutsu skills, Naruto knew that he was ready to take on the exam. He practiced his bunshin and substitution along with his transformation, which he had managed to make entirely solid. The blonde decided to spend his week studying, as well as practicing his techniques. It was going to be a long week no matter what, and he had to be at his peak. This was it. He was ready. It was time to become a genin, and he could finally learn about his mother. Naruto was positively ecstatic and ready to go. Sliding on his black t-shirt, he strapped on his metal arm protectors, and donned his black pants. Closing the door with a thud, he took off for the academy. Having finished the written portion, and completed the demonstrations of ninjutsu, the genin hopefuls found themselves outside for a taijutsu test. Alright class, listen up. The white-haired Chunin instructor called out. Each of you will spar with me, and Irika will assess your skill, got it? A chorus of yes came from the class, and the matches started. Most had quite a bit of trouble with Mizuki but still managed to pass. The clan kids however did fairly well against the hardened Chunin, Kiba giving him a considerable amount of trouble. Inuzuka Kiba, pass Irika, announced Hinata. Hyuga, please come up. Hinata then began her match doing well and subsequently passing as many others did. The students one by one were called up and tested. Uchiha Sasuke, as his name was called, the stoic and bored-looking last survivor, walked up to the mat and took his stance, preparing for Mizuki's inevitable assault. Mizuki dashed at the confident Uchiha. They quickly engaged in a fierce taijutsu bout. Sasuke threw himself into a heel drop on the Chunin, but his superior speed allowed him a quick dodge. When the Uchiha's foot impacted the ground, however, he quickly adjusted into a spin kick, catching Mizuki in the back. At that point, Iruka called the match, and Sasuke casually strolled off of the mat, causing his fangirls to ooh and ah about how cool he was. Alright, Uzumaki Naruto. Hearing Iruka call his name, the boy made his way to the mat. Mizuki smiled at him and wished him luck, telling him to do his best, but something seemed off to Naruto. In the Chunin's mind, he intended to rough up the Jinchuriki something fierce. Naruto meanwhile sensed something was off, but pushed the thought to the back of his mind, as he knew he had to pass this test so he could learn of his mother and start his path to Hokage. Naruto settled into his stance and readied himself. The Chunin immediately kicked off at speeds higher than that he had used on the other students. Naruto's eyes widened slightly in surprise at this, but once again, he pushed it to the back of his mind and engaged. The blonde slid under a hard spin kick, pouncing on one hand and slamming his foot into Mizuki's hip. This damn brat hits hard, Mizuki thought with a snarl. He twisted around and caught the boy in the ribs with his fist, launching the boy backwards. However, Naruto caught himself in a handstand and spun around onto his feet, facing his opponent. With a chakra-enhanced sprint, he cleared the space between them in what almost seemed like an instant. He found himself wishing in the back of his mind he could have used his kunai substitution. Just as he reached the Chunin, he did the unexpected and slid onto the ground, catching Mizuki by the ankles and pulling his feet out from under him, slamming him face first into the ground. A slightly stunned Iruka stared for a moment before regaining his composure, clearing his throat and announcing, Uzumaki Naruto, pass. Naruto stood beside a still-down Mizuki and smiled at the scarred Chunin. The other instructor got up and dusted himself off and made his way to Iruka's side, muttering about brats and demons. You'll pay for this, you damn demon brat, Mizuki thought to himself, as tried to hide his humiliation and shame by putting up a fake smile, and told the boy well done. The class all then filed back into the academy and took seats. Alright everyone, on Monday be here at 8 and sharp for team assignments. Enjoy your downtime because life's about to get a lot more interesting. Iruka finished off with a smile. Everyone head home, he said with a wave as he and Mizuki left the room to go write reports on all of the soon-to-be genin. After they left the academy, Naruto and Sasuke met up at training ground 14. Hey there, bastard, Naruto called out with a grin as he arrived. HN, Sasuke grunted with a smirk of his own. Ready to lose, loser? He asked arrogantly. Sure, little Sasuke, Naruto said mockingly, sticking out his tongue. Let's get wild then, he said. The Uchiha grunted at the taunt. Sasuke and Naruto took their stances and Naruto threw a kunai into the air. When it hit the ground, they burst into a fierce bout of taijutsu, engaging each other with hard blows. These two never were and never would be ordinary genin. It was late the next evening when Naruto, who was committing himself to another round of physical training, sensed the presence of his second sensei moving quickly past his training ground. That's strange, Naruto thought to himself. Past this training ground is just the edge of the village. Wait, he couldn't be? Is he deserting the village? No, I know sensei doesn't like me, but I'm sure he wouldn't turn traitor. And so the boy chose to investigate, and took off in the direction of his teacher. Uzumaki Naruto has stolen the scroll of seals, a leaf Jounin yelled. Mobilize the Chunin Corps. Now, a voice broke through the chaos. You will all find young Uzumaki and bring him to me unharmed and with the scroll in tow. Is that understood? The third Hokage commanded his shinobi. Our Lord Third? A Chunin asked. But surely he stole the SCR. I said, is that understood? The Hokage asked in a no-nonsense tone. Why yes sir. Good, now go. The village leader waved his hand in dismissal and the shinobi scattered. Inu, a tall Inbu with a dog mask and spiky silver hair, landed next to the aged Hokage in a kneeling position. Go find Naruto. There is a traitor amongst us who has tried to impersonate Naruto as a cover for his escape. The scroll he stole is fake, but we must catch him. But if I know our boy, he will find his way into this trouble, or the traitor may try to harm him. The Hokage then sighed. Keep him safe, Inu. Yes, Lord Hokage. And with the wind, the Anbu was gone. The forest was quiet as Naruto watched the Chunin scout the area and prepare his things. Deeply troubling the boy was the large scroll with the Hokage's seal on it. No Chunin should be out in the forest on the edge of the village with a scroll of high importance alone. This could only mean one thing. Damn it, could that possibly mean you're a traitor after all? Naruto questioned to himself. The Chunin was rushing himself, obviously in a slight panic. Wonder what's got him so shook up. Dropping down a few yards away from the supposed traitor, Naruto called out, Hey, Mizuki-sensei, what are you doing out here at this time of night? Are you lost, sensei? When Mizuki heard the voice, he turned around, and when he saw the young blonde, he thought to himself, things just might work out a little better now. Naruto approaches his sensei and smiled at him. I can help if you want. Whoa! What's that super big scroll? Mizuki's eyes narrowed, and in seconds a large Fuma shuriken appeared in his hand and slammed into the spot Naruto had been standing. Had he not had the reflexes he possessed from his rigorous training, he would have been killed. Naruto leapt back to create space, instinctively throwing a volley of shuriken at his foe. So you really are a traitor, he wondered aloud. Hopefully someone comes along to assist, but I'm not just gonna let you take off on the village like this. I'll keep you here until someone shows up. Ha! As if you could keep up with me, demon brat. Mizuki chuckled darkly. You're weak in that form, aren't you, Monster Fox? Wait, Monster Fox? Why, you mean the Nine Tails? Why? Why do you people all keep calling me that? Do you know, you bastard? Tell me, Naruto exclaimed, composure crumbling down under a tidal wave of emotion. It's simple, you damn demon. 12 years ago, when the fourth Hokage fought the nine-tailed fox, he sealed it in you. You are the Nine Tails. You are the Monster Fox. Mizuki began to cackle at Naruto's expression. That's why they all hate you. Even Iruka, and now I'm gonna get rid of you for good, he yelled, laughing as the boy fell onto his rear in disbelief. He then wrenched his arm back and launched his Fuma Shuriken. No! A voice cried out, and the dull thud and of steel impacting flesh rang through the small clearing. It's true, there is a demon fox inside you. But you are its jailer. You're no monster fox, Naruto. You're a great student, and I acknowledge you and your incredible talent, along with the immense potential you possess as a shinobi. Iruka coughed up a bit of blood but smiled at him, hunched over the boy with the large shuriken sticking out of his back. You are Uzumaki Naruto of Konoha. As heartwarming as this is, it's time to die. Both of you! Mizuki yelled out. Naruto stood, laying Iruka down against the tree while removing the shuriken. Rest now, Iruka-sensei. I'll take things from here. Thank you. That was when Iruka noticed the look of absolute determination and unshakable resolve the boy had on his face. He smiled at the blonde. Good luck, Iruka said to him softly. Sensei, I make my own luck, the boy replied with a smile. Bastard. If you lay one finger on my sensei ever again, Naruto pointed at his forehead with his thumb. I'll kill you. You can try, fox, yelled Mizuki, who charged at the boy. A volley of shuriken come his way, but Naruto deflected them with his kunai. He then launched his own volley, but of kunai. They flew toward Mizuki, and the Chunin deflected all but one, only to tilt his head to the side and avoid it. Then, the blonde disappeared. Reappearing in his place was a kunai, and Naruto's foot slammed into the older man's back. Stumbling, Mizuki found himself about to fall right in front of the kunai from before, only to see it disappear and felt the boy's sandal plant itself in his face. The traitorous Nin was launched backwards, righting himself in time to see the young boy launch into a spin kick that planted itself firmly in Mizuki's chest, slamming him into a tree. Eyes widened in shock, the Chunin thought to himself, How did he get so strong? No matter, I'll use the power Lord Orochimaru has given me and destroy this pest. Mizuki's body was suddenly covered in black markings and his chakra began to flare up. Naruto's eyebrow rose in confusion. What's with this malevolent chakra? The boy wondered to himself. But suddenly a loud chirping sound rang through the clearing, and in a flash of blue light a hand rammed out of Mizuki's chest. The Chunin coughed up blood and managed to get out a gurgled "wa" before abruptly dying. His body slid off of the arm and landed on the ground. Naruto's gaze focused on the arm but slowly followed it up to its owner, a dog masked Ainu. Ainu? What are you doing here? Naruto was shocked but relieved to see the Black Ops Nin. Hokage's orders. He stares blankly. He walked to Iruka and checked on him, bandaging his back. He then stood to look at the young man. You did well, Naruto, be proud. Now stay with him while I go grab a medic. I'd rather not move him. Why, yes, sir. Thank you. Naruto managed to get out, straightening his stance out to look more presentable, and the Anbu disappeared in a swirl of leaves. One day I need to learn how to do that, he muttered to himself. Naruto, the pained voice of Iruka came. Come here, he grunted as he fully sat himself up against the tree. What is it? Sensei, you shouldn't move. The boy knelt next to the Chunin. A look of worry etched onto his face. You did well, Naruto, Iruka said with a smile. I have no doubt you'll make a great Hokage one day. And with that, for the first time in at least 3 years, Naruto cried. Taking the empty seat next to Sasuke, Naruto settled in for team assignments. Iruka entered and began a long speech. After that was finished, Iruka smiled at his class. Alright, team assignments are as follows. Naruto spaced out, only listening only for his name. And Hinazuki Rika. You guys are team 2, your Jounin sensei will be Satomi Yuta. Rika? Where have I heard that before? Naruto questioned to himself. Unsure, he thought on it longer but couldn't come up with anything for why he would recognize the name. Team 7, Uchiha Sasuke, Haruno Sakura, and Uzumaki Naruto. Your Jounin sensei will be Hatake Kakashi, drawled out Iruka, who became suddenly surprised at Kakashi being a Jounin sensei. What the hell? I thought the worst and best in the class are supposed to be on the same team? Why is the second rank in with the Rookie of the Year? That's OP! Kiba shouted out. Well, after scores were taken, Sasuke and Naruto have tied for Rookie of the Year. And it's a direct order from Lord Third Hokage. Kiba's eyes widened in shock and he slightly cowered in his seat at the tone. Anything else, Kiba? No, sensei. Kiba called out. Good. Team 8 is Inuzuka Kiba, Aburame Shino, and Hyuga Hinata. Your Jounin sensei will be Yuhi Kurinai. Iruka continued on in hopes of preventing any idle chatter. Team 9 is still in service, so Team 10 will be Nara Shikamaru, Akimichi Chuji, and Yamanaka Ino. Your Jounin sensei will be Sarutobi Asuma. Wiping his brow in relief, Iruka continued, alright. That's it. Everyone hang around and wait for your sensei. I look forward to watching you each develop as a shinobi. This was it. He was a ninja now, and he could finally know who his mother was. Naruto sprinted across rooftops headed for the Hokage Tower. He earned these answers and he had every intention of getting them. Finally arriving at the tower, the boy walked in. Walking up to the secretary, someone who had never been bad to him but had always been indifferent, he put a big smile on his face and said, how's it going? Is Lord Third in a meeting? She grunted and replied, no, he just got out of one. You can go up. Thanks a ton, he said, taking off up the stairs, and right before bursting through the doors he stopped himself. He reminded himself, he was a genin now and he had duties and responsibilities to handle, as well as a reputation to uphold. Time to go find out about Mom, he thought to himself. To be honest, he was nervous, but that wasn't gonna stop him. He grabbed the handle and turned. The Hokage smiled as he sensed the boy standing behind the door. He was slightly surprised the boy didn't just throw them open. He heard a turn and a click, and watched the door open. The boy stepped into his office, a slight look of apprehension in his face that soon shifted to one of determination. Sarutobi smiled. This boy really was something. I've a feeling your son is going to take the ninja world by storm, Minato. Hello, Lord Hokage. Naruto said, slowly approaching the desk. Ah, good to see you, Naruto boy. Please come take a seat. I assume you're here to find out about your mother, no? Yes, sir. I've been looking forward to it since you told me. Not only have you earned your headband and become a genin, but you also stopped a very important traitor. Which, by the way, will be added to your record as a B-rank mission. You will be paid accordingly. Hiruzen smiled at Naruto. You've made fine progress, Naruto. Thank you, Lord Hokage. Naruto smiled back. But I believe you know why I'm here. Ah, yes, to learn of your mother. And no need to be so formal, my boy. It's just us in here right now. Alright, old man. So what was her name? Naruto asked. Hiruzen stood turning around and staring out the window over the village. Your mother's name was Uzumaki Kushina. Uzumaki Kushina? That's a beautiful name. Naruto smiled at the Hokage's back. Ah, my boy, a beautiful name it is. She was much more beautiful in person. Sarutobi sighed. I wish with all my heart that she could be here to see you grow, Naruto. Naruto stared at the floor. He didn't really know what to say. Do you have a picture? Of her? He heard the old Hokage sigh sadly and a drawer open. He looked up as he heard something slide across the desk toward him. Staring back at him was a beautiful red-haired woman, smiling contently. That's my mother? Uzumaki Kushina? Yes. Sarutobi stated simply. Old man Hokage, did she love me? Naruto asked, voice breaking and tears threatening to leak from his eyes. Your mother loved you more than anything on this planet. That I can say with absolute certainty. Sarutobi looked upon the boy with soft eyes. Even in her last moments she thought of nothing but you, Naruto. Sarutobi sighed, remembering the day he hated most in his long life. Flashback. The third Hokage arrived at the spot where the 9 tails had last been, and what greeted him was a dead Hokage, his near-death wife, and a small baby boy with whisker marks on his cheeks. A Jounin leaned over the body of Minato, Lord Fourth. Getting no response, he realized he was dead. At the same time, another Jounin lifted Kushina into a sitting position. Lady Kushina. Ignoring the Jounin, Kushina spoke third. Sarutobi was in front of her in a second, Naruto securely held in his arms. Kushina, please look after my child, his name is Naruto. She said shakily, drawing small breaths. Minato, and I took it from a novel by Jiraiya-sensei. Naruto, Sarutobi said, I'll remember. I'll take full responsibility. The Hokage looked down at the boy, continuing, so please don't speak anymore for his sake, too. However, when he looked up again, Kushina was dead. Flashback end. Old man, how did she die? Naruto asked sadly. Protecting you, directly from the 9 tails. She gave her life for yours. She loved you so much, my boy. Sarutobi said softly. Naruto smiled sadly. Do you have more pictures? Did you know her? Can you tell me about her? The boy asked rapidly. Of course, my boy. The Hokage smiled more brightly this time. And Naruto grinned in response. Little did they know they would spend the next 4 hours, chatting about Kushina. The office that had minutes before been filled with an air of sadness, slowly turned into a room that was so cheerful even Sasuke would smile just by stepping inside. Naruto was to be a real ninja soon. With knowledge of his mother and her will of fire, nothing could stop him. He would uphold her legacy to the highest of standards. He was ecstatic. Naruto was, for lack of a better term, extremely disappointed. This is a Jounin? What the hell? Said Jounin had been 3 hours late to pick his team up. Naruto was not happy, and when the man walked in he simply leveled a light glare at the man. Sasuke bore a scowl and Sakura has a worried look after seeing the anger in her teammates' faces. Kakashi strolled into the room causally, but was met with an atmosphere of killing intent and worry. Looking to the two boys, he saw their glares and Sakura's worry. My first impression of all of you is you're extremely hostile. The Jounin stated with a bored tone, causing a sweat drop from all three fresh genin. Meet me on the roof in 5 minutes. He then disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Naruto smiled slightly, but then he noticed something. Why does his chakra signature feel so familiar? He mentally asked himself. Naruto quickly got up and walked out, making his way to the roof and prompting the other two of Team 7 to follow. Arriving on the roof, the three new shinobi found their new sensei leaning against the railing. Alright, my cute little genin, come sit down, he chuckled lightly. Let's introduce ourselves then. Tell me about your likes and dislikes, and your dreams. Kakashi said. Can you go first as an example, sensei? The pink one asked. Does she really need an example for this? Kakashi mentally sweat dropped. Yeah, sure, I suppose, sighing he continued. My name is Hatake Kakashi. I like some things and I dislike others. My dreams are none of your business. I smiled at them. We only got his name. The genin sweat dropped at their sensei. Alright, Pinky, you're up first. My name is Haruno Sakura. I mean the thing I like. She trailed off, giggling, and glanced at Sasuke. I dislike Enopig, and foods that are too spicy. She giggled again. Oh. My dream is to be a strong kunoichi, and one day start a family. Good enough, I suppose. You're next, Whiskers. Naruto grunted at the nickname but spoke anyway. I have a name, it's Uzumaki Naruto. He shouted. Calming himself, he continued. I like ramen, IMA, and my friends. I dislike traitors. My dream is to be Hokage. The greatest one yet, and to be faster than the Lord Fourth Hokage himself, as well as surpass my mother as a shinobi. Alright, Duck Bud. You're up, HN. The last Uchiha grunted at the insult. Fine. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I like nothing and dislike a lot of things. I don't have a dream, but an ambition. I will kill a certain man, and restore my clan. You actually like tomatoes though. And training, and me of course. Naruto said with an ear-splitting grin. HN, shut up, dope. Sasuke retorted. Hey, I resent the Naruto started. Alright, enough banter. Kakashi interrupted. Meet me at Training Ground 7 tomorrow at 8 in the morning sharp for our first team exercise. And you shouldn't eat breakfast. You might throw up. He said with a nice smile. And then he was gone. The three genin were silent. So you guys wanna go get some ramen? Naruto then broke said silence. Fine. You're paying dope. Sasuke replied. What, why would I pay? You're the one with all the money. Naruto retorted. HN, alright, fine, I'll pay, damn it. The blonde grumbled as they began to walk off. A few steps down the stairs, Naruto stopped and turned around. You coming, Sakura? I can? Right, sorry, yeah, I'm coming. She replied, lighting up at being included. Kakashi stood in front of the memorial stone, collecting his thoughts. He stretched his chakra, making sure he was alone, and then sighed aloud. Sensei, I have your son on my team. I'll train him well. I won't let what happened to our team happen again. Kakashi looked at the ground and smiled slightly. He wants to surpass you not only in strength but in speed, and even more so as Hokage. I've no doubt that he will one day. It seems Lord Third has also told him of Lady Kushina. Guide me please, sensei. I'm glad I convinced Lord Third to give me him and Sasuke. Flashback. Inu stood before the Hokage. Sir, stand and remove your mask, Inu. The professor ordered. Kakashi, you will take a genin team again this year. Sir, no team has passed with me before. Why would we keep doing this? Kakashi inquired. You will train Uchiha Sasuke. You're the only one who can. The old Hokage puffed on his pipe. Fine. But I want Sensei's son too. Kakashi made his demand. If he was going to do this, he was going to protect his sensei's legacy. You cannot train. Respectfully, Lord Third, I won't miss my chance to train him. He needs someone who knows. How many years have you had me watch over him from the shadows? It's time, sir, Kakashi demanded again, with more determination than the old Hokage has seen since the day Minato tasked Kakashi with overwatching Kushina's pregnancy. Fine. On the condition that you do not reveal his heritage to him. Sarutobi sighed. He must not be told. Not yet. When the time comes, Jiraiya will return to the village to help train the boy. Eventually he will tell him. Flashback and Kakashi's thoughts wandered to Obito, wondering how things would be if they had traded places. Obito, I'll look after Sasuke and try to save him from his hatred, like you once did for me. Thank you, Obito. The dawn of the next day saw three new genin stroll into Training Ground 7. Sasuke, stoic as ever, made no comment as they saw their sensei was indeed not there yet. Sakura was looking quite annoyed with her sensei, and Naruto. Well, he was currently snacking on a stick of dango and looked extremely bored. Naruto, why are you eating? Sensei said not to eat breakfast. Sakura broke the silence. Nah, his mouth full of food was then swallowed and he cleared his throat. He said we shouldn't eat breakfast. Not that we couldn't. That is absolutely a voice-promising punishment started as Kakashi landed behind the genin. Tone suddenly softening, he continued, correct. Sakura nearly face-faulted and Sasuke even deemed it worthy of a sweat drop. Naruto simply laughed. Alright. Kakashi said, clapping his hands together. Time for your real genin test. What? came the outraged shout of 2 out of the 3 students. Sasuke settling for a questioning grunt. Kakashi smiled at them and then pulled out a timer, setting it on a post next to him. He then pulled out 2 bells and tied them to his waist. To become genin, you must first take a bell from me. Any of you with a bell by the time this timer goes off, pass. He lowered his tone slightly and continued, however, anyone without will be sent back to the academy. But sensei, there's only 2 bells? Sakura questioned. Does that mean? Yes, Kakashi interrupted. Only 2 of you can pass this test. No matter what, one of you is going back to the academy. Shit, high stakes then. Alright, let's get this done. Naruto stated. Come at me with the intent to kill. Otherwise you will not succeed. The Jounin stated. Your test starts now. The genin immediately scattered and hid off in the trees. Naruto observed the lazy Jounin with a calculating gaze, wondering what exactly his game was. This test can't be normal. Why separate from a 3-man squad to a 2-man squad? No, he intends to put us against each other. I see. Alright, I'll play along. Naruto thought to himself. Now who's going to make the first move? If I know Sasuke, the last Uchiha burst from the trees with a hail of kunai in front of him, aiming at the Jounin. Speeding through hand seals, he shot off a jutsu fire style, fireball jutsu. A large fireball left the boy's mouth, barreling at Kakashi. When the jutsu cleared, all that remained was a burning log stuck with many kunai. A substitution? He's good, thought Sasuke. Weren't you ever taught not to play with fire? Kakashi asked from behind him, book in hand. Don't underestimate me, I'm an Uchiha, Sasuke shouted. Immediately he engaged Kakashi in a bout of taijutsu, eventually forcing Kakashi to stash his book away. I'm no ordinary genin, he continued, as he came down with a heel drop intent on caving in the Jounin's skull. Kakashi caught his leg and slammed him face first into the ground. First up, taijutsu, not bad. He then disappeared, allowing the Uchiha to flip back onto his feet. Sasuke wearily looked around, trying to find the Jounin. Earth style, headhunter jutsu, Kakashi called out. His hand shot out of the ground, grabbing his student's leg and dragging him into the earth, leaving only his head above the surface. Second up, ninjutsu. Now stay here and think about what you did, the Jounin said with an eye smile, subsequently disappearing. Sakura snuck her way through the forest, trying to find a good line of sight on the clearing. Third up, genjutsu. The Jounin appeared behind the pink-haired girl. Demonic illusion, death mirage jutsu. The girl found herself alone. Sakura, help me, Sasuke said, collapsing. With that, the pink-haired girl fainted. Kakashi would be lying if he said he wasn't disappointed. That was way too easy. He would need to change that. Alright, Blondie, you're up, Kakashi thought to himself, disappearing in a body flicker back to the tree at the center of the clearing. Naruto had seen enough. He was ready. He was fairly confident the Jounin wouldn't expect his kunai substitution, however he wasn't going to fall for it more than once. Kakashi was just about to get bored enough to initiate the fight when a volley of kunai shot out of the trees at him. He dodged them and simply waited, and his wait was rewarded as 12 Narutos came charging out of the trees, all jumping at him, fists cocked back. They all phased right through him. The clone being only an illusion, Naruto came from behind with a burst of speed, launching into a spin kick. The white-haired man batted the boy's leg away but was almost stunned to see Naruto instantly transition into a handstand that brought his opposite leg back around, leveled at the Jounin's head. He quickly caught the leg, moving to throw Naruto, only for him to suddenly be caught holding a log as another volley of kunai came at him from behind. He dodged and simultaneously dropped the log, only for Naruto to appear out of thin air, hand gliding across a bell, but not enough to get a grip. Realizing he couldn't make the grab, Naruto transitioned into a handstand, spinning in place to bring his leg around to stroke Kakashi in the side. When Kakashi moved to catch the leg, Naruto suddenly let his arm buckle a bit, causing the height of his leg to drop from his sensei's midsection to his hip, just enough to avoid the hand poised to catch his leg and connect the kick did, with a log. Naruto ate the dirt. A substitution with a kunai, impressive. Almost reminds me of sensei, thought Kakashi as he slammed Naruto face down into the dirt. Neat trick, certainly impressive, but you'll have to do better than that, he said to the boy. The blonde craned his neck to smirk at his sensei as a large fireball, courtesy of the last Uchiha, barreled toward them. Kakashi tossed Naruto out of the line of fire, and quickly replaced himself with a log. Finally dug yourself out, eh? Sasuke-chan, Naruto said with a grin. Shut up, loser, I've got a bell to steal, said Sasuke with his ever-so-present attitude. No can do, sorry ski. With that, Naruto grabbed Sasuke by the torso and dashed into the trees. Finally deep enough in, he stopped as the Uchiha has been kicking the crap out of him. Loser, what the fuck? Sasuke hissed. Quiet. You're really not as smart as you're thought to be, you know that, right? Naruto said with a quiet chuckle. This is a test of teamwork, think about it. Or do I need to explain it to you, bastard? Fuck, you're right. As much as I hate to admit it, it makes sense, Sasuke said begrudgingly. Of course I'm right, dipshit, Naruto growled. Anyway, we gotta find Sakura. HN, was his only reply. Naruto stuck his finger to the ground and began spreading his chakra out over the clearing. Finally he locked into the Pinket's chakra signature. Alright, I've got her, let's go. Kakashi stood unmoving in the clearing. I didn't really expect that Sasuke would rescue Naruto. I think I'll wait and see what happens next, this could be interesting, the masked Jounin thought to himself. Just as he began to consider pulling out his book, a volley of shuriken came at him from the woods. Quickly turning, the Jounin moved to deflect them when a hail of kunai shot out from the opposite side of the clearing. A pincer? Kakashi thought quickly. One of those kunai might end up being Naruto in a second. The former ANBU deflected the shuriken, and quickly substituted with a log appearing across the clearing from where he had been standing. Fire style, fireball jutsu. A fireball barreled toward Kakashi, ripping apart the clearing as it moved. Kakashi quickly dodged, then was confronted with a hail of shuriken. After deflecting them, he then immediately caught Sasuke's foot as it moved to catch him in the shoulder. The Jounin threw the boy away, who righted himself and threw another hail of shuriken at Kakashi. As Sasuke landed, Kakashi called out, "You'll get nowhere doing this on your own. I'm not alone." The last Uchiha yelled back. In the back of his mind he thought, I haven't been alone for a while now because of you any? Naruto? He landed and flashed through hand seals again, fire style, fireball jutsu. He smirked as it burnt toward the silver cyclops. Naruto! Now! He called out to his friend. 2 hails of kunai ripped from the trees at the new Jounin sensei. He deflected them all and dodged others. As expected, one suddenly became Naruto, who launched a new set of kunai at the instructor as he turned to face the new combatant. The Jounin's eye widened and he substituted with a log to escape and create distance. Good. But where's the other one? He called out. Right here, sensei. Sakura called as Kakashi looked and saw her standing alone, with one hand held in a snake hand seal. Explode! She yelled. Kakashi's eye widened as the 100 explosive tags around the field began to glow. Microseconds later they resounded with a ball of fire, and a thunderclap like boom. Kakashi appeared behind Sakura and caught her wrist as she tried to swing a kunai at him. Enough. He said, well done all of you, you pass. I smiled at the genin. Came the voice of Sakura and Naruto. But we didn't get the bells, sensei? Sakura continued. It was never about the bells, my little genin. It was all about teamwork, and you've shown you have that in spades. I'm proud of all of you, and you are all ready to be ninja. Kakashi had them all gather around the 3 posts at the far side of the clearing. Here he let them help themselves to the bento lunches he had waiting. As they ate, he contemplated what to say next. Ushering them over to the memorial stone, he began. Upon this stone, we engrave the names of the heroes of Konoha. These are all shinobi who gave their lives in the line of duty for the village. Many of my friends' names rest upon this stone. Along with that of my sensei. Who was your sensei, Kakashi-sensei? Sakura asked gently. I smiled down at her, Minato Namikaze, or as you may know him, Lord 4th Hokage. What? No way. My sensei was trained by the 4th Hokage himself. You've got to be super strong, you know. Naruto's hands clapped over his mouth at the surprise of letting his verbal tick go in front of his new teammates, and sensei. Kushina would be very proud of you, Naruto. I smiled at the boy, who looked oh so much like his late sensei. Wait, you knew Mom? Yes, I did, and I can tell you that the verbal tick of yours comes directly from her. Kakashi replied in a cheerful voice. Thank you, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto said softly with a huge grin plastered on his face. The masked man looked to the last Uchiha. Sasuke, you've done well by your clan's name, and if they were here right now I'm sure that they would be very proud of you. Sasuke's eyes widened and a rare flicker of pure emotion shined through. After a moment, he settled back into his nonchalant, uncaring demeanor once again. Thanks. The Jounin finally turned to the Pinkette. Sakura, you have potential, but there are many things you need to work on. But I'm sure you do your family proud as well. Thank you, Kakashi-sensei, she said smiling widely. A very wise shinobi once taught me a very valuable lesson. Kakashi began. Those that break the rules are trash. But those who abandon their comrades are worse than trash. Kakashi sighed, remembering Obito, it's a saying that should be beaten into your heads at the academy. But that doesn't happen, so I'll do it myself. I smiled once again. Over the next 3 months, Team 7 would meet every day in the morning and do team and individual training until the early afternoon. After that, they would head to the Hokage Tower and acquire and complete 6 D-rank missions. They quickly became Konoha's top rookie genin team with 546 completed D-ranks under their belt. Adding to their feats, the instructor taught Sasuke and Sakura tree climbing and water walking. While doing so, he also helped Naruto complete his water walking training. Kakashi felt they would be ready. Team 7 walked through the door of the Hokage's office. Kakashi, I smiled at the Hokage and gave a greeting. Yo, Kakashi, here to start your daily D-ranks? Sarutobi smiled. I have a few here. He trailed off while shuffling around papers. Actually, Lord Hokage, I'm here to request a sea tank for my cute little genin. Oh? It is about time now, isn't it? Let me see here. Bandits have been seen around Niba village. Abnormally large wolves have been terrorizing Hashikawa village. There's also Lord Hokage, we'll take the bandit mission, sir. Kakashi interrupted. Alright, it's settled. Team 7 is to dispatch immediately to Niba village in eastern Hai no Kuni. You will meet with the village elder, Ijima Tohaku. The Hokage gave his orders, and the team set out. After exiting the tower, Kakashi turned to face his team. Alright guys, I want you to go home, pack 1 week's worth of gear and meet me at the east gate, understood? A chorus of yes, Kakashi-sensei, came from the 3 child soldiers. He chuckled, it's about a full day's travel to Niba village, so be ready for a walk. Got it. The team scattered. Nice to meet you, Mr. Iijima, Kakashi said as he and his team bowed before the village elder. Thank you for coming to assist us, Mr. Hataki. The elderly man bowed. We've had trade caravans and travelers reporting that they have been confronted by bandits all around the village outskirts. Please take care of this problem for us. Of course, Mr. Iijima, we'll be off then. We shall report back when the mission is complete. The white-haired man replied. The team turned sharp and headed outside of the village. The Jounin turned to face his team. I won't lie to you. It would be wrong to do so. There is a high probability that you will either witness a kill or directly kill someone yourself on this mission. I'm hoping you don't freeze up if you do so. However, don't worry as I will be watching over all 3 of you. Another possibility is that if the bandit group is large, there may missing Nin amongst them. So be careful. Understood? Yes, Sensei, came the reply of all 3 students. The masked man stared at them a minute longer before signaling for them to follow him toward a spot that a carriage had been attacked. Upon arriving at the day-old scene, Kakashi began to investigate. Taking note of the area, he found a series of drag marks. With closer inspection, he deduced that chests of goods had been dragged sloppily back to the bandit camp. Come, he said, we'll follow this trail to the camp, scout it out, make a plan, and then take care of the problem. Understood? The 3 genin all nodded their heads at him. With that, they took off along the trail. Team 7 was on the hunt. When Naruto had heard the term bandit camp, he had not envisioned what he was seeing currently. The team was perched on a rocky outcrop looking over the forest below them. In it was a large clearing filled to the brim with tents and carts. When he had heard bandit problem, he had thought of maybe a group of 10 to 20, not the view that greeted him of somewhere between 1 to 200 bandits strolling about. All sorts of weapons floated around between them, from swords to scythes and even axes. If you could think of it, someone down there probably had one. Kakashi-sensei, how exactly do you plan for us to deal with all of this? Naruto quietly broke the silence with his question. I'm sure we could take these guys, but there's a lot of them. I'm ashamed to admit it, but the idiot's right. There really is a lot. Sasuke stared down, scouting and trying to see a plan. Gotta be something between 150 to 200 guys down there. Let's back off for now, kiddies, Kakashi said and began making his way away from the edge. The 3 genin quickly moved to follow them. Later that day, about an hour before dusk, Kakashi gathered his team around him. Alright, listen up. Making sure he had the attention of all 3, he then continued. There's a ravine at the end of the clearing they are camped in. I'm going to use a water-style jutsu, followed by an earth-style jutsu to force them from camp and into the ravine. Kakashi sighed. My jutsu will most likely neutralize a large amount of them, however it won't get everyone. That is why you 3 will be using the ravine as a kill box. Wait, a kill box? Sakura asked. But these are people, we can't just slaughter them like animals. Kakashi sighed once again and crouched level with the pinkette. I know that it doesn't seem right, but as shinobi, this is what we do, Sakura. On top of it, those men are scum, who have chosen a path of torture and rape, along with killing and kidnapping people for their own greed. They sell people into slavery. As such, we put them down like rabid dogs. Sakura's eyes widened, unbelieving at his words. Is this really what it means to be a shinobi? The masked Jounin looked at her as if trying to find the right words. Sakura, look at your teammates. They have already steeled their resolve and are ready to do this. They understand what they signed up for. I know it feels wrong, but one day all of you will find a way to cope with such acts. This is the life of a shinobi, and if you can't handle it, I won't force you down this path any farther. Sure enough, when Sakura turned around to her teammates, she could see that they had steeled themselves and understood exactly what it meant to be a shinobi. Alright, sensei. I'll do it. I picked this path, and I'm not just going to abandon my dreams. The sole female shinobi said, with an air of confidence. He ruffled her hair. That's the spirit. Turning to the boys, he asked, are you guys ready? The 2 boys shared a glance at one another, and turned their attention back to their sensei. Let's get this done, they replied in unison. Be ready when you see my jutsu go off, Kakashi said. The team began to set up along the ravine, Sakura at the end where the ravine started to turn into open ground once again. Naruto and Sasuke positioned along opposite sides of the pass, spaced to cover more distance. Sakura planted sets of paper bombs all along the ravines so she could set them off as bandits passed, to neutralize them as well as force them to keep going forward. When all was done, Kakashi moved away to the rock outcropping they had used to overwatch the camp just hours before. Carefully making his way down to where he was only above the clearing by about 40 feet, he began to flash through hand seals, water style, exploding water shock wave. A massive wave of water swept through the camp, smashing men into everything around them. When the water began to settle, some men had drowned, but most were injured or heading for the ravine. The Jounin sped through another set of hand seals, earth style, mud river. A raging avalanche of mud and earth slid down the slope, effectively washing away the camp and destroying everything in its path, as well as swallowing up any stragglers who hadn't made it to the ravine. In total only about 80 men made it in. As the first group got the farthest along, a paper bomb went off underneath them. The loud echoing boom resounded through the passage, as more paper bombs went off courtesy of the pinkette. Only about 40 bandits were left. However, in a hail of kunai and shuriken from Naruto and Sasuke respectively, that number was cut in half. Unbeknownst to them, 4 men slid past and ran toward Sakura, who threw a handful of shuriken at them. But it only dropped 3, the thrown weapons buried in their heart, the last man having caught one in his shoulder. Sakura froze at seeing the 3 men she had just killed die so close to her. "You're dead, girlie," the last man said, bringing his sword to bear, poised to strike the girl down like nothing. Suddenly a swath of kunai landed behind him, and as he turned he caught sight of black with a hint of orange before a kunai enclosed in a fist slammed into his skull, which burst with blood covering Naruto's face. He froze momentarily, registering the look of shock and utter fear on the man's face as he killed him, but remembering he had done so to save Sakura, he regained his composure. "Sakura, are you alright?" Naruto yelled at the girl. "Huh, Naruto?" she said, still dazed. "Why, you just saved my life, didn't you?" "Thank you," she said, falling to her knees. "No problem," he said, then turned and called out through the ravine over Sasuke's little kill zone, "Kaka-sensei, come look after Sakura." And with that, Naruto flew back into the fray with Sasuke. Between the two of them, they utterly bodied the rest of the bandits with taijutsu and kunai alone. Kakashi watched as Naruto pierced the skull of the last bandit with a kunai. As the bandit dropped dead, he noticed the look of sadness in his eyes. Sasuke and Naruto then landed next to him, covered in a fairly large amount of blood. "Good work, team. I'm proud of you. You all did well for your first time doing something like this." Kakashi sighed. "Head down the hill about another half-mile and there's a stream. You boys go get cleaned up and I'll take care of Sakura, alright?" "Yes, sir," the boys said together and disappeared from view. "Sakura, I need you to look at me." "Can you do that for me?" Kakashi asked the shell-shocked girl. Her 1,000-yard stare turned to meet Kakashi's dark gray eyes. She nodded dumbly. "Sakura, you did what you had to do and what was required of a shinobi. On top of that, it was kill or be killed. If you hadn't killed those 3 men, they most definitely would have killed you before Naruto could have possibly got them all." Kakashi sighed. "Hard in your heart, for this is something we deal with every day. However, don't forget that it's all right to feel remorse and regret over taking a life. That remorse and that feeling is what keeps us human. If you ever begin to enjoy it, that is when you become a monster. And you're no monster, Sakura. Trust me, I've seen many." Sakura sobbed slightly but took shaky deep breaths and replied, "Thank you, sensei." "Of course. Ski, what Naruto? How you doing? Shouldn't you be focused on how you are doing and not on how I'm doing, loser?" Sasuke grumbled. Naruto stared into the river, his reflection in the bloody water staring back at him. "It's easier for me to worry about others than it is to worry about myself. That's why you're a loser, dipshit." Sasuke sighed. "But I'm fine. Thanks, loser. Hell, what can I say? I've never had friends, so that's why every new friend I make matters so much to me. You were my first friend, you are my best friend, and you're almost closer to family to me than even old man Hokage," Naruto said. He didn't exactly know why he was actually admitting this, but he figured it was just the shell shock he was still experiencing. Upon Naruto finishing his statement, Sasuke's eyes widened to gigantic proportions, and his gaze turned to the golden-haired shinobi. In the back of Sasuke's mind rang the words of his brother on that night long ago. "There is no value in killing the likes of you, my foolish brother. If you want to kill me, curse me, hate me, and live a long and unsightly life. Run away, and cling to your pitiful life. And then someday, when you have the same eyes as I do, come before me." Sasuke stared wide-eyed still at Naruto. This boy who had forced his way into Sasuke's life was more of a brother to him than even Itachi had been in their childhood. Could it be that the path I'm on is not the correct one? Is hatred truly the answer, or has Naruto been right from the start? Sasuke thought to himself. "Yeah," he grunted out in reply to Naruto. Naruto turned to Sasuke and threw a rock at him. "Get clean, bitch boy," he said, laughing as he walked off. Sasuke grunted and stood up. "Fuck you, Uzumaki." The team was now back in Niba village, standing before the village elder. "Our mission is complete, sir. The bandits are taken care of. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to have you Konoha ninja around. I bid you safe travels home." "Thank you, sir," Kakashi said as he bowed. He and his team then began their journey home. "So, my cute little genin, other than the obvious bad part, how was your first excursion outside of the village? It's really neat to see new places like this, Kakashi-sensei. Will we be taking more missions like this in the future?" Naruto asked with an almost excited tone. "I rather enjoyed the views myself as well," Sakura said, "but I'm glad to be going home." Sasuke grunted. "It was alright. But not anything special. If you're always such a downer, Ski, at least be slightly enthusiastic," Naruto said, crossing his arms. "Oh please, loser. You have enough enthusiasm to make up for the entire team," the raven-haired boy replied. "Glad to see you all having fun," the sensei of Team 7 remarked. Unfortunately, he and Sakura would have to listen to the boys bicker the entire way home. Kakashi and his team stood before the aging Hokage. Team 7 reporting from first C-ranked mission, sir. I'm happy to report that the mission was a complete success, and these genin handled themselves quite well. Ah yes, good to have you back, Kakashi. The old shinobi replied, packing and igniting his pipe. That's 1 C-rank added to your official record. Well done. If that is all, Kakashi, would you mind staying behind a moment? Of course, sir. Kakashi turned to his students. You 3 should go get some ramen or barbecue and I will meet you there after I'm done here. He finished with a nice smile. Sounds good, later sensei. And the 3 were off. So Kakashi, how did they handle the first time kills? It really broke Sakura down quite a bit, Kakashi said sadly. However, she is back to her normal self. I believe Naruto and Sasuke dealt with it by talking amongst each other. I'm really not all that worried about those 2. They will make fine careers as shinobi. Kakashi finished with a smile. Aye, that they will. The Hokage said, exhaling a plume of smoke. And how exactly is Naruto coming along in his training? Well, Lord Third, he finished his water walking training while I trained the other 2 in tree climbing. So that's out of the way. Mentally as a shinobi, when we get into battle his head is clear. He's calm and collected. He's almost like Minato-sensei if I'm to be honest, sir. He still hasn't seemed to make contact with, nor use the power of the 9-tailed fox. Kakashi recounted his progress with Team 7, deciding they needed to be a lot stronger before they went running into the next mission. Good, I'm glad to hear the boy is making progress. The professor then snuffed out his pipe and put it away. Well, I suppose that will be all then, Kakas. Actually, Lord Third, there was something I wanted to ask you. The Jounin interrupted, tone completely serious. Oh? Please do, ask away. The god of shinobi said with a raised brow. It's well known that elemental jutsu training is mostly reserved for Chunin and above, however I believe the potential in this team is extremely high. I would like your permission to begin teaching them fairly high-level techniques and test their elemental affinities. Also, sir, I would like to train Naruto in the 4th Hummingbird Fist Taijutsu. Kakashi said, voice in full business mode. I suppose it can't hurt to properly start our most promising team off with some new jutsus. Alright, I approve your request, along with your request to train Naruto in Minato style. However, not a word is to be spoken about who he really is to Naruto. Is that understood, Hatake? The 3rd Hokage said in a tone that promised severe punishment for any disobedience of his order. Yes, sir, Lord Third. The former ANBU said. I'll take my leave then. The 3 genin sat eating and bickering at Ichiraku ramen. Naruto suddenly spun around in his seat and smiled. Hiya, sensei. What's up? He said to the empty street, cause Sakura, Tuchi, and I am to all adopt a confused expression. However, just as Sakura was about to ask what he was talking about, Kakashi appeared right before the blonde boy. Yo, Naruto. He laughed. Sakura was visibly stunned. Wahawa, she muttered out. Sakura, you dolt, Naruto is a censor type. How have you not picked up on that? Sasuke quipped. Wow, I guess I never did really notice, sorry, Naruto. The girl said. Hey, it's fine, Sakura. Naruto stated. Now, you kids gotta come with me. There's training to be done. Kakashi said, I suppose I can pay just this once. He leaned over and paid for their meals. Turning around, he bid the father-daughter duo goodbye. Later, Tuchi, we'll have to catch up sometime. Of course, Kakashi, stop by any time. Tuchi called out to the team's backs as they made their way from the shop. The team followed their sensei to training ground 7. Here, they gathered around the 3 wooden posts. Alright, listen closely as I don't want to repeat myself. The Jounin started with an authoritative tone. We're going to test your elemental affinities today. Wait, really? No way, this will be awesome. Naruto said enthusiastically. Pipe down, Naruto, I'm not done. Kakashi said with a stern look. Now, as I was saying, I'm going to test your affinities, after which I intend to give you all a jutsu to learn before our next mission that we will be taking at the end of next week. I want all of you to try to have them mastered by then, or at least be proficient with the jutsu. Understood? Yes, sensei. The 3 called back to him. Alright then, let's get this started. Hatake opened a pouch on his vest and produced 3 pieces of chakra paper. Take these in your dominant hand and then slowly push your chakra into them. He then handed the papers out. If your affinity is fire, it will burn, water it will turn soggy, wind it will split, lightning it will crinkle, and earth it will crumble. Go ahead and start, he ordered to his team. He thought to himself, let's see what we're working with. Sakura went first, pushing her chakra into the paper, and it crumbled in her hand. Earth, it's not rare but it is a strong element. Especially good for defensive jutsu, the masked man commented. Sasuke took his turn and followed after Sakura, his paper crinkling before setting alight. Fire and lightning, not bad. I'm also a lightning type. I smiled at the Uchiha boy. Naruto finished for the group by pushing his chakra into the paper, causing it to split in half before turning soggy and dissolving into water. Wind and water. Wind is very rare in the land of fire, as I know of only 2 shinobi in Konoha have natural wind affinities. One of whom being Sarutobi Asuma, and water to boot, also a good element. I'm surprised to see 2 of my students have dual affinities. Kakashi then put his hands into the clone seal, Shadow Clone Jutsu. 2 identical Kakashis appeared next to him. Any one of you who can get their jutsu down before the weekend is over, I will teach a second jutsu to you. He then had Sasuke and Sakura head off with one of his clones each. Kakashi stared at Naruto before smiling at him. Ready? He asked. Of course, sensei. The boy responded, ready to learn. Alright Naruto, now, just so you know, high-level techniques require additional chakra control training as well as elemental control training. So don't go off trying to learn any high-level wind or water techniques without having me there to help, alright? Kakashi's clones were also giving the same talk to his other two students. Yes, sir. The boy was practically bouncing up and down at this point. Because of this, the Jounin gave him a rather stern look, and the boy immediately composed himself and quieted. Now the jutsu I'm going to teach you is called Wind Style. Great breakthrough. Watch my hands, alright? Kakashi then began to move through the seals for the technique, aiming for the middle of the clearing. Tiger, ox, dog, rabbit, snake, wind style, great breakthrough, he yelled, and a massive gust of wind burst through the clearing, ripping the leaves off of many trees. You get that? Yup, Kaka-sensei. Can I try now? He asked impatiently. Yes, but let me walk you through it, alright? After you run through the hand seals, you'll gather wind chakra to your lungs and blow out a stream of air. Go ahead and try now. The instructor was curious as to how exactly this was going to go. Naruto burst into action, sliding through hand seals and releasing the jutsu, Wind Style, great breakthrough. He yelled and watched in pure disbelief as his first wind jutsu ripped a single leaf off of a tree. He face planted in shame. Get up, Naruto. That's to be expected on your first try. Again. Kakashi ordered. Yes, sir. The boy grumbled, flashing through hand seals and repeating the process, however still only tearing a single leaf from a tree. When mastered and filled with chakra, this jutsu can go from C to a rank in no time. You have the potential for that, Kakashi advised. Again. Once again wind ripped through the trees. Again. This time 2 leaves left the tree. Again. The same result. Again. This continued until dark, at which point Naruto was able to ruffle the entire tree and shake it as well as taking some leaves off of it. Unfortunately, he still did not have mastery over the jutsu. We'll meet here tomorrow morning. Be on time. It was early morning when Sakura and Sasuke entered the clearing to find Naruto and Kakashi standing at the far side. Again Kakashi's voice floated across the field, followed by a gust of wind that ripped a branch off the tree. Ha! Look, I did it, you know. Naruto's hands clapped over his mouth, letting out his verbal tick. Sometimes you really are just like Kushina, Naruto, Kakashi said with a nice smile. Thank you, Kaka-sensei. Naruto then noticed the rest of Team 7 standing there. Oh hey guys. What's up? Hello Naruto, responded Sakura. Loser. Sasuke grunted out. What jutsu are you learning? He asked, wondering. Wind Style, great breakthrough. Naruto smiled. How about you guys? The Pinkette spoke first. Earth Style, hidden mold jutsu. Sasuke followed up with Fire Style, Phoenix Flower jutsu. Sasuke? Think we could combine our jutsu for a combination? Naruto asked. I don't see why it wouldn't work. The Uchiha replied. Thinking ahead, aren't we? Your chakra natures are a perfect match, not only to go against each other in spars, but also to work together in unison for a better effect, Kakashi interdicted. You all have great potential. He chuckled, then continued. Alright Sakura, head off with the clone. Naruto, my other clone, will stay here and oversee your progress. Sasuke, come with me. The clearing was once again filled with the repetition of again, followed by a gust of wind. It would continue until dusk. Naruto, with this much chakra you're capable of being an artillery battery of jutsu. I'm going to expand your ninjutsu arsenal as much as I can. Kakashi, I smiled at the boy. Now one more time. Again. Naruto inhaled and then released his jutsu, only to watch as it ripped the tree in the center of the clearing right out of the ground. Kakashi's eye widened. Naruto, how exactly did you pull that off? Naruto rubbed the back of his neck. Well, you see, sensei, I kinda got frustrated and poured a bunch of chakra into it. Again. Huh, do it again, Naruto. We need to see if you can replicate that. Yes, sir, he said, speeding through hand seals and inhaling heavily. He poured chakra into his lungs and released his jutsu. Wind Style, great breakthrough. The wind tore through the clearing and tossed the downed tree another 20 yards across the clearing. Well done, Naruto, I truly am impressed. I'm going to dispel now to let the original know what happened. The clone burst into smoke. Over the next 3 days Sasuke would master his jutsu as well, meaning that the boys would get a second jutsu to work on. Sakura had not, but Kakashi knew she was getting close. He also had her firing on all cylinders. He worked her half to death every day to try to build up her chakra reserves. Kakashi would teach Naruto and Sasuke their new jutsu over the next week, as well as helping Sakura perfect hers. He also began having her learn medical ninjutsu. For Naruto, he taught him the water style, water clone jutsu. He felt that with Naruto's reserves it would be a great asset. He didn't want to try with the shadow clone yet, as he would need to convince the Hokage that it was a good idea. In the long run, the multi-shadow clone jutsu could turn out to be one of the most deadly in Naruto's arsenal. He had taught the self-proclaimed Avenger a lightning jutsu. Lightning style, lightning bolt. A C-rank jutsu that was essentially the lightning version of the water style, water pistol jutsu. Sasuke has picked up the lightning jutsu much faster than Kakashi was expecting, and he was proud of his team. It was time to get their next C-rank, so they made their way to the Hokage Tower. Kakashi and his team were currently making their way down a road. Client in tow, they were en route to the Land of Waves. Tazuna the bridge builder had requested a C-rank escort mission to his home country. Located south of the Land of Fire, the Land of Waves needed Tazuna to complete his bridge to increase trade opportunities. Naruto was walking alongside Sasuke at the front of the group, when he noticed a puddle. It hadn't rained in weeks. Oh come on, that's just fucking sloppy. Who does that? Naruto thought. Clearing his throat he said to Sasuke, you're a fucking scrub, you know that right? You couldn't even use my water jutsu properly when you tried. Sasuke got the message loud and clear, having noticed the puddle himself. Fuck you, Uzumaki. The puddle came to life, as two Nin burst from it, wrapping Kakashi in their chain, and then splitting him in half. One down, the Nin said in unison. A lightning bolt courtesy of Sasuke's lightning pistol jutsu hit home on their chain, shocking both of the Nin and forcing them to detach from each other. Sakura sped through hand seals and called out, Earth style, hidden mole jutsu. Dragging herself and Tazuna underground and out of the way, the two Nin engaged in combat with Naruto and Sasuke. Locking kunai with Naruto, one of the Nin growled. Naruto responded in kind with the addition of what kind of idiot scrub are you? That was the worst plan I've ever seen. The Nin growled again and launched back away from the golden-haired boy. The Jinchuriki threw a hail of kunai at the Nin, who batted some out of the way with his gauntlet, and dodged the last four, only for the kunai that was closest to him directly behind his back to suddenly become Naruto, who kicked the Nin into the air. Sasuke on the other hand got caught up in hand-to-hand with the second Nin. The Nin whose experience was giving him the upper hand, got overconfident and left an opening that the Uchiha gladly exploited, kicking him hard enough to crack his ribs. Sasuke shot away from the Nin and flew through hand seals, fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Spitting a volley of small fireballs at his opponent, it was enough to light the man's cloak on fire. Throwing his cloak from his body, he prepared to re-engage with the Uchiha when he saw his brother fall from the sky. Uzumaki hammer! Naruto yelled after punching the man hard enough in the face to break his nose. The man landed face up on the ground only to meet a kunai through the heart, as the blonde substituted with one of his kunai still on the ground. Naruto looked at the dead Nin and immediately shifted his attention to Sasuke. Meizu! You fuck! I'm gonna kill you! The Nin was enraged. A voice came from behind as the ring of a kunai handle impacted the back of his skull, knocking him out. You let your guard down, came Sasuke's disappointed tone. Wow! Well done, kiddies! You can come up now, Sakura! Kakashi called out to his genin. Sakura buzzed from the ground, Tazuna in tow. The old bridge builder looked at the jounin and said, Wait a minute. Didn't you just die? I used the substitution, I am a jounin after all, but most importantly I had to see if they were after me for my bounty. Or after you? Start talking, Tazuna. Right now. Kakashi's tone hardened into a firm command. Right, yes, I'm sorry. He dropped to his hands and knees. Our village is too poor to pay for anything above a C-rank mission. It took everything we had to scrounge up that much money. In that case you should have explained your situation to our Hokage. He would have gladly made a deal with your country. Now why are there missing Nin after you? Kakashi said to the old drunk. The man sobbed and said, The truth is there's a super dangerous man after me. You may have heard of him. His name is Gato. Gato? Kakashi asked, slightly surprised. As in the shipping magnate? What could he possibly want with you? He took over the Land of Waves with his company. He effectively ruined the economy. And we're bankrupt. Building my bridge would kickstart the economy again, and his company wouldn't be able to keep hold of us anymore. He sobbed loudly. Please, you have to help me. Standard procedure states that we return to the village at once. The jounin said. This mission is no longer a C-rank, and by that right your contract is null and void. I see, the bridge builder replied. I guess Gato's thugs will just kill me and my super cute daughter and grandson will cry for weeks, and my super cute grandson will grow up hating Konoha forever. He sobbed out. The whole team shared one thought, this is a grown man? But still all looked at each other. Kakashi turned to his genin and asked, This is no longer a mission you have to do. Any of you can turn around and go back to the village. This mission could very well be your last. I can't order you to go, so what's it gonna be? Say, Sensei, as Konoha shinobi, don't we take it upon ourselves to help anyone in need, even more so than the other great villages? So to hold up our values and the will of fire, I'm going to go save that village. With or without you, sir. Naruto voiced his reply. Sasuke grunted. I have to make sure this idiot doesn't die or get all the credit. If they're in, then I'm in too, Sensei. We're a team, Sakura said with enthusiasm. Alright then, so be it, let's move out. The former ANBU said. Right, thank you, Ken. I know you stuck your neck out for me this time. The old bridge builder said to the fisherman as the team dismounted the boat. Yeah, no problem, just get that bridge built. With that the fisherman floated away. Alrighty. It's not too long of a walk to the main village. I'll lead you there, Tazuna said with a bit more enthusiasm than he had shown the whole way here. As they walked along, Naruto immediately sensed a large chakra signature. Responding in kind, Naruto took Tazuna and Sakura to the ground a full 8 seconds before Kakashi even yelled get down. A massive sword flew through the air above them where their heads had been. The sword embedded itself into a tree and a man appeared on top of it, with bandages covering his face, his carved Kiri forehead protector sideways upon his head, and brandishing camouflage pants. Momochi Zabuza stood before Team 7. He then proceeded to give them a taste of real killing intent. Kakashi spoke first. Momochi Zabuza, A-ranked missing nin from Kirigakure, also known as the Demon of Kirigakure. Uncovering his left eye, revealing his Sharingan, Kakashi continued. I'll need this to deal with you, Hatake Kakashi or Kakashi of the Sharingan. I'm honored, Zabuza said. You three. Stay back and protect Tazuna with your lives. Stay out of this fight. The legendary Jounin ordered. It's useless to have them protect him, Zabuza said, channeling all of his killing intent at the three genin. Sasuke began to lift his kunai toward his throat. It's over, I'm done for. I might as well just get it over with. Sasuke thought under the immense pressure of Zabuza's killing intent. Sasuke! Stop! I'll protect you all with my life. I won't let my comrades die, Kakashi said reassuringly. Hidden Miss Jutsu! Zabuza yelled. Zabuza suddenly appeared inside the circle of genin, aiming to cleave their heads off along with Tazuna's with a single swing. Just as the genin thought it was all over, Kakashi's hand ran through the man's chest, kunai firmly in his grip. Zabuza's body turned into a pool of water, Zabuza appearing behind the copy nin, and cleaving him in half only for him to turn to water himself. Kakashi appeared behind the missing nin. It's over, Momochi. Before Kakashi could strike, a second Miss Nin appeared behind him, throwing him into the nearby lake. As the copy nin came to the surface, he was trapped in the swordsman's water prison jutsu. Naruto! Take our team and run! This fight was over the minute I got caught. His water clones can't go far from his body, so run! Kakashi yelled at the genin, then thought to himself, looks like I've failed once again, sensei. 3 of Zabuza's water clones made their way towards the genin. Pfft. As if a ninja who abandons his comrades is worse than scum. And I'm most definitely not scum. I won't run. Not now. Not ever. Naruto shouted. Sasuke, Combo 5 Formation B, got it. The Uchiha yelled in retort. Just what the hell are they doing? Thought the copycat nin. Secretly under Kakashi's nose, the two boys had been meeting for 3 hours at midnight to practice combat plans, have spars, and try to perfect their first collaboration jutsu. Naruto and Sasuke dashed to opposite sides of the clearing as 12 perfect copies of Naruto ran at Zabuza from where he and Sasuke had been standing. This brat's gonna try to use Academy clones on me. What an idiot. The bandaged man laughed aloud, but his eyes widened upon watching one of the clones pull a kunai out and wreck one of his water clones. The other 2 of the Miss Nin's clones quickly neutralized the Naruto clones. Zabuza's eyes widened again when he saw they were water clones. Sasuke burst from the trees on the right side of the clearing, running at the missing nin kunai drawn. No, Sasuke! Keep your distance! Kakashi yelled. But it was too late, and the missing nin clone cleaved Sasuke in half only for him to revert to a Naruto clone that then dissolved into water. Kakashi's eyes widened as they had many times before. What absolute brilliance! Naruto is a wonderful strategist. At the same moment the clone was split in half. Naruto and Sasuke burst from the tree line on the left, flying through hand seals in unison. They then both fired off said jutsu. They called out in perfect sync as they had done hundreds of times before. Wind style, great breakthrough. Fire style, fireball jutsu. The wind boosted the fireball's speed and doubled its size as the jutsu barreled toward the 2 water clones, which were instantly evaporated from the immense heat. Suddenly a Fuma shuriken burst from the fireball straight at the real Zabuza's head. He caught the offending object and was about to taunt the boys when he saw a second shuriken that had been hidden in the first shuriken's shadow. Zabuza promptly jumped over the secondary. Not bad for rookies. But still not enough. At that moment the shuriken behind him turned into Naruto, who tossed the kunai at the man's head. The missing nin moved his head quickly to the side and watched the knife move past him, only for it to suddenly become Naruto's sandal, courtesy of the boy's kunai substitution. And Zabuza subsequently ate Shu and was forced to release Kakashi. The copy nin immediately threw Naruto away from the 2 nin and back to shore. Excellent work, boys. I'll take it from here, Kakashi called to his genin. Copying and flashing through hand seals, Kakashi and Zabuza both let off a jutsu. Water style, water dragon jutsu, water style, water dragon jutsu. The 2 jutsu collided and cancelled each other out. The 2 high-level ninja would duke it out for another 10 minutes before finally both launched back and began to speed through hand seals once again. This time Kakashi was faster thanks to a Sharingan genjutsu he had placed on Zabuza to make his movements more sluggish. Zabuza gasped. Can you see the future? Yes, said the copy ninja, and your future is death. He let loose his jutsu, water style, water dragon jutsu, which smashed into Zabuza with extreme force. Kakashi made his way to the Miss Nin's broken and beaten body, preparing a kunai to finish the job when a Kirigakure hunter nin appeared as several 7 impaled Zabuza's neck. Thank you? I've been tracking him for some time now. Kakashi eyed the hunter nin. I want to make sure he's dead if that's alright. By all means, copy nin Kakashi, the hunter replied. The battered Jounin leaned down and felt for Zabuza's pulse. Finding none, and completely exhausted Kakashi let the nin take off with the body before turning to his genin. You all did well, I'm very PR. Kakashi passed out, and in a quick burst of speed Naruto caught his teacher. Old man Tazuna, take us to your home, Naruto ordered. Startled Tazuna reined himself in and quickly replied, oh right. Yes. Right away, follow me. As the group made their way to the bridge builder's house, Naruto spoke up. Hey Ski, what is it, loser? Thanks for the help. I definitely couldn't have done that alone. Sasuke's only reply was to stare into the sky with a blank look on his face. Between revenge, and acceptance and camaraderie amongst his friends, which did he really want the most? These thoughts would plague him for the rest of the day. And then me and that duck but over there launched a collaboration jutsu we've been working on, and totally fried those water clones. Naruto said enthusiastically. You can't fry water, you dipshit. Sasuke remarked. Sasuke! There's a child in this house. Watch your damn mouth. Sakura shouted at the boy. Naruto and Sasuke sat and stared wide-eyed at the pinkette. Faces contorted in disbelief. The girl blushed and sat down. Just because I like you, doesn't mean I have to go easy on you, Uchiha Sasuke. You're almost as bad as Naruto sometimes. At that moment Naruto burst into laughter. Sakura soon followed and Sasuke even began to chuckle lightly. And this was the scene that greeted Hatake Kakashi as he entered the dining room of the house. Well, I'm glad to see you all have been enjoying yourselves. Thank you for the hospitality, Mr. Tazuna, and you as well. Kakashi trailed off, staring at the woman, inclining her to give him her name. Oh, pardon me, I'm Tsunami. Nice to meet you, Mr. Hatake Kakashi. It's a pleasure. Sensei? Naruto cut in. Should you really be up and about already? Yes, I'll be fine, Naruto, but thank you for your concern. Kakashi reassured the boy. Now I want you all to know that I'm fairly certain Zabuza is still alive. And I'd say we've got about a week to prepare for him to come back. We were thinking that might be the case actually. We all felt something was off with that hunter nin. Sasuke said. Well, good, I'm glad to see you three are learning to pick up on these kinds of things. Kakashi smiled at his team. Inari. Tazuna yelled, come down here. Footsteps were heard and a small boy came down the stairs into the dining room. What? Inari, say hello to the wonderful ninja who protected your grandpa. Tsunami said. Sup, kid? Don't worry, we're gonna save your country, no problem. Naruto said, giving a reassuring grin and a thumbs up. Whatever. The boy muttered, you're all gonna die anyway, nobody beats Gato. Naruto shot up, standing at the table. Excuse me? He almost growled. What are you just giving up, scaredy cat? You're all gonna die anyway. Why do you even try? There's no such thing as heroes. The young boy shouted. Bullshit. Naruto yelled, I'm gonna save this place and show you you're wrong. You wouldn't understand. What could you ninja possibly know about this kind of suffering? Inari yelled back, crying. Naruto began to leak killing intent, shaking slightly. He said, wouldn't understand, huh? Yeah, fuck me, what would I know, right? You know what? Fuck you, kid, you're just a cry-baby bitch who can't get over himself. I know more about suffering than almost anyone on this planet. Naruto walked to the door, opened it, and said, I'm leaving. I'll be back later. The door closed softly behind him. Inari burst into tears and ran up the stairs. The whole room was silent. I apologize for my student's behavior, he's had an extremely hard life. It's okay, Mr. Hatake. He's needed to hear that for a while now. I just couldn't bring myself to be the one to say it. Tazuna reassured the legendary Konoha nin. Sasuke stood, I'm gonna go for a walk. Maybe do some training. I'll be back by tomorrow. With that Sasuke left the house. Sasuke strolled through the forest in the direction Naruto had gone. Not that he was worried or anything, he was just going to see if the blonde wanted to get beat up in a spar. Sasuke wandered around for quite a while, and it was almost dusk when he felt the faint sense of his friend's chakra. It was hard not to sense Naruto's chakra sometimes. The damn loser had so much of it. Sasuke made it to the edge of the small clearing and instantly drew a kunai and burst forward to the downed form of his friend, putting himself in between Naruto and the person who had been standing over him. The Uchiha stared at the individual that stood only a few feet away from him. Who are you? Sasuke said. Oh, my name is Haku. I'm a local. I was out gathering herbs for my ill father. I heard a lot of noise this way and came to take a look. I watched him train for a while, the girl now identified as Haku said. In that moment Sasuke had the faint thought that this girl was absolutely gorgeous. Almost as beautiful as his own mother. HN. The raven-haired boy grunted. Seems he knew you were here then. Oh, he did? Haku asked, curious. Yeah, my stupid teammate is a sensor type. Fucker can feel out chakra like it's his own hand. Sasuke said, slightly jealous. He sighed, sitting down next to Naruto. Do you have someone precious to you? Haku asked. Do I? And he stopped self. Was he an avenger that wanted to be all alone and kill Itachi? Or was he a teammate, comrade, and friend to those around him? He quickly thought of Sakura, Kakashi, and Naruto. The only family he had now. You know what? Yeah, I do. He sighed. Why was he telling this girl all of this? Good, then you must be very strong. The girl replied. Why do you say that? It was the conflicted Avenger's turn to be curious. Because when you have precious people and precious bonds to protect, that is when you are truly strong. The girl smiled. Strength comes from the bonds we form around us. Our precious people are the ones we fight so hard to protect. Sometimes they die, and we can't stop it, but that's what drives us to get even stronger so we can protect the ones we have left. Sasuke couldn't help but think not only was her voice and face so beautiful but her spirit was as well. He smiled back at her. You know, you're probably right. Thank you, Miss Haku. Sasuke replied. Haku stood. I have to go now, but you're welcome. I hope we meet again one day in the future. Oh, and by the way, I'm a boy. The young woman said, smiling. For the first time in his entire life, Sasuke snorted. He laughed loudly. Yeah, bullshit. I call your bluff, woman. Oh, it seems you've caught me. The village girl smiled at him. Goodbye, until we meet again, Uchiha Sasuke. It would only be a full week later that Sasuke would realize he had never given her his name. Fuck! Naruto shouted. I slept in again. He growled lightly. He ran down the stairs and found Tsunami. My team leave already? Indeed they did, Naruto. I'm sorry, I should have woken you. She replied. No, it's fine, ma'am, thank you. He said, running to the door. Later. He called behind him. He was halfway to the bridge when he felt it. 6 small chakra signatures headed right for the house. Naruto quickly doubled back on his trail, intent on stopping whatever was about to happen. He arrived just in time to watch a bandit kick the door in and drag Tsunami out of the building. He quickly flashed through hand seals, creating 5 water clones to deal with the 5 bandits guarding the perimeter. As his clone snuck up, so did he. He was in kunai range now. He watched as Inari came running out of the house in full charge, brandishing a knife. Hell, I'll kill you, brat. Don't hurt my mother, Inari. No. As a sword swing came down toward the boy, a kunai impacted at the man's feet and then was gone. And somehow the man had a fist brandishing a kunai embedded halfway in his chest underneath his ribs. Naruto twisted the small blade, and the man promptly died. All the while Naruto's 5 water clones simultaneously killed the other 5 men. Good job, Inari. He said, looking down at the boy and ruffling his hair with his non-blood-soaked hand. That's how a true hero acts. Thank you for saving us, Naruto. Thank you so much, Mr. Uzumaki. Tsunami cried out. And no problem. But I gotta get going here. My team's waiting for me. You should barricade yourself in the house and wait. And with that the boy took off into the trees once again. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Sasuke was getting his ass beat. And it was pissing him off. Like a lot. Damn it. Am I really this outclassed? The fake hunter Nin had encased the last Uchiha in a dome of ice mirrors, and was proceeding to rip him apart with 7. The Uchiha really did think it might be over for him. Suddenly a loud explosion ripped apart one of the mirrors courtesy of Naruto, who used the opportunity to catch the fake Nin across the face with his foot. Sasuke, don't tell me you've been losing to this asshole. Shut up, you idiot. Now we're both stuck in here, he said as the destroyed mirror reformed. Well, at least I don't have to fight alone now, the Raven thought. The fight proceeded and Sasuke found out that Naruto was, after all, faster than he was. It bothered him slightly, but at least they had a chance. Enough. It's time to end this, yelled the enemy shinobi. And suddenly there was an absolutely huge blanket of 7 coming straight for them. Sasuke knew he couldn't dodge. He was gonna die here. Sasuke suddenly found himself thrown against the ground, with Naruto standing over him, body covered in 7, looking at him with almost lifeless eyes. Ski, you gotta live, Naruto said through gritted teeth. And with that the unknown son of the 4th Hokage fell and died. Naruto! Hey! Idiot! Get up! Sasuke crawled toward him. Why, loser? Why would you save me? You're supposed to be Hokage one day. Sasuke was racked with 2 emotions, guilt and anger. His eyes flashed red. A fully mature 3-tomo Sharingan appearing in place of his black eyes. Was he precious to you? The Nin asked. He obviously cared for you. The Nin sighed. Sorry it had to end this way. Shut up. I'm gonna kill you. Sasuke was on the Nin in seconds, eyes working double time and reading every move the Nin made before he could make them. Sasuke slammed hit after hit into the Nin. Kicking the Nin into the air, Sasuke did as he had seen Naruto do with the demon brothers. He slammed his fist into the fake hunter Nin's face, breaking her mask and sending her crashing to the ground face up. Sasuke came down, kunai poised to cut open the Nin's heart. As soon as his feet touched the ground, he stopped stone cold. Haku? What? What the fuck? What are you doing here? He screamed at the downed girl. It was you. Why was it you who killed my friend? I am a tool for Zabuza. As all shinobi are. In the same way you are all tools to your village and Hokage, I am a tool to Zabuza. I will serve him faithfully, for my dream is to see him achieve his dream. Haku grunted out. A tool? Sasuke yelled. No, we're people. The loser was to be Hokage one day. You, Uchiha Sasuke, are at your strongest at this moment, as you are protecting someone precious to you. Haku sighed. I am a broken tool, and am no longer able to protect my precious people. So please kill me, Uchi. A blast of chakra flew across the bridge, freezing everyone in place. They felt one emotion over all others, fear. fear at the overwhelming feeling of killing intent and hatred as Naruto's body seemingly rose from the dead. Shit! Did the seal break? The panic thoughts rushed through Kakashi's mind. Hataki? What the fuck is that? Zabuza asked as the two Nin locked blades once again. The former Miss Jounin disengaged and leapt back, sweeping his blade in front of him and catching Kakashi lightly across the chest. At that moment a black and red mass shot across the bridge and took Zabuza off his feet. The man's back impacted one of the bridge's supports hard enough to cause cracks to spiderweb out from the point of impact. Zabuza coughed up blood. What the fuck just hit me, he thought. When he opened his eyes, what he saw terrified him. When he took this mission, he never would have thought he would face Konohagakure's Jinchuriki. He remembers what kind of terrors occurred during the battle with Yagura, and he was only the Jinchuriki of the three tails. And if this kid was Konohagakure's, then that could only mean one thing. It's the fucking 9 tails. Shit, Zabuza half thought, and half mumbled under his breath. Naruto was pressing Kakashi hard. Well, not really Naruto, but the demon in control of his body. He was barely dodging hits. Naruto! The copy Nin yelled at his blonde student. You've got to rein yourself in. Fight it, Kakashi-sensei. What's happening? Sasuke yelled. His eyes were wide, Sharingan following Naruto's moves. What even was this power? Sasuke, stay out of this. If you don't, you'll die. The Jounin replied, desperation in his voice. Naruto! Kushina, your very mother was also the Jinchuriki of the 9 tails. She could keep it under control, and I'm more than sure you can as well, Naruto. The desperate Jounin yelled at the red-eyed Jinchuriki. But he finally slipped up. Kakashi lost his footing and knew this was the end. He could only hope the boy would regain control before killing his teammates. Naruto's clawed hand stopped mere inches from the Jounin's face. The Nin's eyes widened as he saw the boy stop. Naruto, you in there? He said as calmly as possible. The boy's eyes flashed blue for a split second. I'm here, sensei. It's me, I'm in control. Naruto, don't think about anything else. But as long as you're like this, let's use it. Let's get Zabuza together. Alright? The Jounin instructed the boy. Got it, sensei. He grinned. What's the plan? The same combo you and Sasuke used. Pour the chakra, Naruto. The two flashed through hand seals. Fire style, grand fireball jutsu. Wind style, great breakthrough. The absolute hurricane of fire that burned across the bridge was enough to superheat the concrete as it traveled. Zabuza barely managed to get a counter out. Water style, water wall. He yelled. The jutsu held out against the Jounin and Genin's combo for all of 5 seconds before it evaporated and blew the water away. But it was enough to keep the jutsu from instantly killing the missing Nin. As his clothes burned, he screamed and jumped off the bridge into the water, where he then resurfaced and ran up the side of a bridge support to confront the Konohagakure shinobi. Zabuza, it's time to end this, Kakashi stated. He slid through hand seals, the Jounin's hand was engulfed in lightning, and he sped across the bridge, hand extended toward the missing Nin. Chidori! The sounds of his hand tearing and bursting through flesh echoed across the bridge. On his hand sat Haku. Made for a useful tool after all. The demon of Kirigakure yelled, bringing his sword back and fully intending upon cutting through Haku to kill Kakashi. But he hesitated. Can I really do this? He thought, but brought his arm down anyway. A black and red blur impacted against the side of his sword, taking it completely out of his hands. What the fuck, sensei? Finish it! Naruto shouted, throwing the blade to the ground. Zabuza brandished a kunai, but immediately Kakashi was behind him and planted a kunai in the Nin's left shoulder, rendering it useless. The Nin tossed his kunai to his other hand, bringing it around to bear down on Kakashi. The Leaf Jounin adjusted his grip and changed his angle, slamming his kunai into Zabuza's right armpit, while simultaneously grabbing and snapping the former Kirigakure Nin's forearm. Zabuza growled and launched back, but was met with a voice. Wow, you ninja really do have some cool fights. A short fat man with a cane called out. Too bad I have to cut it short. Gato, what are you doing here? Zabuza growled. I figured I'd wait for you all to wear each other down, and then come have my men finish all of you off. I never intended to pay you. He kicked Haku's corpse. This brat almost broke my hand. I'm glad she's dead. Zabuza said nothing, but it was someone unexpected who broke the silent tension. How? How can you stand there and let him do that to her? She loved you. She traded her life for yours and you just let him desecrate her memory? The Uchiha yelled with rage in his eyes. She's just another tool to me. Bullshit. You hesitated when you went to cleave through her to get to Kakashi. You'd sit here now and lie. The Uchiha growled. You son of a bitch, how can you just... Shut up, kid, you've said enough. You're right, Haku was everything to me. Give me a kunai, kid, I may kill this rat. The Uchiha held a questioning gaze at the former Kuri Nin, then turned and looked at Kakashi. The Jounin nodded. Hesitantly and cautiously, he approached. The ninja swordsman leaned down toward the boy and opened his mouth. The boy held out the handle and Zabuza took it in his teeth. Thanks, he said, and tore into the fray of mercenaries and bandits guarding Gato. Slipping into Gato's personal space, the redeemed Nin slammed the kunai into his throat. Tearing it out, he proceeded to kill many more bandits before he fell. As the bandits moved to hit the down man, one shouted out, We're gonna kill the rest of you damn ninja in a second. Like hell. A child's voice echoed across the bridge. We're not gonna let you step on us anymore. Inari stood with the whole village at his back. Get out of here for good. Channeling a last little dosage of the Nine Tails chakra, Naruto stepped forward. If they don't make you leave, I will. He forced all the killing intent he could toward the bandits, and they took off running for the trees. Naruto collapsed, but his faithful sensei caught him before he hit the ground. Kakashi, will you do me a favor? I'd like to see Haku just one last time. Kakashi obliged the Nin, and laid him next to the lifeless body of Haku. Thank you. As they watched the Miss Nin die crying, snow began to fall on the bridge. Team 7 sat in a bedroom in Tazuna's house, watching over Naruto's sleeping form. The room had been silent as they all stared at the boy. But Sasuke had to know. Sensei, what was that power, that chakra that took control of Naruto? Kakashi stared at the black-haired boy for a minute, as if trying to find an answer. Well, the truth is, it's an S-class secret. Only Naruto can reveal it at his discretion. You said something about Naruto's mother being a Jinchuriki like he is. What does that mean? Sakura asked. So you heard that, did you? Well, I still can't say. You'll have to wait for Naruto. And even then he doesn't have to tell you. It's hard for him to talk about, so try not to push too hard. The Jounin replied. Might as well just tell them now though. Naruto said as he sat up, surprising everyone in the room. It's part of the reason I have so much chakra, and heal so quickly. He sighed at his team. Kakashi cast him a sympathetic look and Naruto continued. I was born on October 10th, the same day and around the same time as the nine-tailed fox attack. The fourth Hokage couldn't actually kill it, so he sealed it into a newborn to hold the beast at bay. I am that child. I am the container of the nine-tailed fox. Sasuke spoke first. You have the nine-tailed fox sealed inside of you? That's what I said, yes. Naruto is what we call a Jinchuriki. A lot of bad things happened on the day he was born. I can't tell you any more than that. Kakashi interdicted. Why you? Sakura finally spoke. Why not any other child? Why a newborn and why you? I don't know. Naruto said with a downcast look. For some reason, Lord Fourth Hokage chose to put his trust in me to hold this massive power. I just don't know if I can live up to his expectations. Just because you've got a big fox in your gut doesn't mean you're any better than me, loser. Sasuke said. All eyes turned on him. Naruto's were comically wide. His face slowly turned to a grin, and then the blonde burst into laughter. Soon the whole team joined him. As the laughing settled, Naruto spoke in a soft tone. Thank you, Sasuke. He sighed. I was honestly very worried you guys would think I'm a monster. Sakura whacked Naruto on the back of the head. Of course we wouldn't think that, you idiot. She sighed lightly. At least now we know why the adults all said to stay away from you, and why they glare at you so much. Thank you, Sakura. Naruto chuckled. One day they won't see me like that. One day they will see me as Uzumaki Naruto, the Hokage. And then they will all respect me. Kakashi was sitting on a couch in Tazuna's house reading his book, when Naruto came through the doorway. Oh hey there, Naruto. Need something? Sensei, I always thought your chakra was familiar, but now I'm almost certain. It's you, right? Naruto, what on earth are you talking about? You're Inu, aren't you, Sensei? The copy Nin stood up, never taking his eyes off the boy. I am indeed, but that's not something you can go running around talking about, Auric Dash. He was cut off quickly as the young blonde enveloped the former ANBU in a tight hug. Thank you? Kakashi was visibly stunned. Naruto? What are you thanking me for? Watching over me. I was always so alone, but I always knew you were there. I could feel your chakra. Even though you never said a word to me other than if the Hokage summoned me, you were always there watching over me and keeping me safe. So thank you, Sensei. Naruto responded while tightening his grip on the older man, tears burning in the corners of his eyes, but never falling. Kakashi slowly and lightly wrapped his arms around his sensei's son. He smiled down at the boy and quietly responded. You're very welcome, Naruto. Sasuke sat in front of the graves of Zabuza and Haku. He stared blankly for a while, finally eyes setting on Haku's grave. You may have been my enemy, but I think you may have taught me the greatest lesson I've learned in my entire life. So thank you for that. He glanced over to Zabuza's grave next. You were a cold bastard, but you really taught me a lot. I see the ninja world is not for the faint of heart. Sometimes you have to steel your resolve. Thank you for showing me the real darkness that comes with being a shinobi. With that said, he stood and heard footsteps behind him. Welp, I really couldn't have said it any better, you know, you bastard. Naruto placed his hand on the Uchiha's shoulder. Sasuke had told him all about Haku, and everything Zabuza said and did. The blonde was almost as inspired by it all as he was. Kakashi-sensei is waiting for us. It's time to go ski. Right, it's time then. Sasuke said. The Jinchuriki began to walk away, and before he left he took one last glance at the graves and made a pledge. I will never, ever abandon my comrades. And I will always protect those precious to me. This team is the only family I have now. I refuse to give that up. And as the thought left his mind, the raven sighed and walked away. Well, looks like we'll be taking off now, the team leader said to the old bridge builder. Konoha's probably beginning to worry. Ah yes, well we very much appreciate your help. None of this would be possible without you four. Please tell the Hokage we are ready and willing to start trade agreements with Konohagakure first and foremost. Ah yes, will do, the Jounin said. The people of Wave Country cheered and whistled at the team as them made their way across the bridge. Tsunami looked at her father and asked, what are we going to name the bridge? Inari immediately jumped in. The bridge of Team 7, of course. The people of Wave Country cheered. It seemed the name would stick. The door to the Hokage's office opened and in stepped the members of Team 7. Team 7 reporting mission complete, sir. Kakashi said. Kakashi, give me all the details. Right now. I believe you need to elaborate on the message you sent to me before you departed Wave Country. Right away, sir. He said, sighing. He proceeded to recount the epic that their mission in Wave Country had become. So you're telling me, you knowingly took 3 genin on what was suddenly an B-rank mission that later, after the appearance of Momochi Zabuza, would become an A rank. The Hokage was visibly annoyed with the masked Jounin. Kakashi scratched his cheek. Oh well, yeah, but when you put it that way. On top of that, you let Naruto get pushed to the point the Nine Tails was able to gain control of his body. And then to defuse said situation, you divulged another S-class secret to the boy. The Hokage pulled out his pipe, lit it, and took a pull, exhaling the smoke before sighing. If this was anyone else other than you and this team, you would be demoted and the genin would be put on probation from any missions above D rank. However, because Team 7 is our strongest and most well-known and popular genin team, I will let this pass. I expect to never hear of a situation like this again. Are we clear, Kakashi? Yes, Lord Hokage. Crystal. Good. You and your team are dismissed, but Naruto, please stay behind. The other 3 left, and the blonde sat down in front of the Hokage. What can I do for you, Lord Third? The boy asked. Did you speak to it, the Nine Tails? No. When Kakashi-sensei mentioned Mother, I was able to regain control of myself and managed to use my power boost to help Kakashi-sensei push Zabuza. Good. When Jiraiya arrives, I'll have him take a look at your seal. Lord Jiraiya? Of the Sannin? Naruto questioned. Indeed. You know I trained all 3 of them. Of course I know. Naruto laughed. They beat it into our heads at the academy. The old Hokage chuckled in response and silence filled the room. Naruto, you and your team are going to be entered into this year's Chunin exams. We can't afford to not show your team off. Let alone not show off you and young Sasuke. The 2 of you are our most skilled genin, so feel free to show off. Understood, Naruto? Yes, Lord Hokage. The boy smiled at the elder. Naruto. Yes, sir? Never mind, it's nothing. You may go. See you later, old man Hokage. With that, the boy stood and left the office. Alone with his thoughts, Hiruzen sighed. It may be too early to tell him of his father. Even if he makes Chunin, I suppose I shall let Jiraiya take him soon, and leave that decision to him. He is the boy's godfather after all. The elderly Sarutobi sighed once more. He really was getting much too old for this. Alright, listen up. Kakashi called to his students. We have until the end of this month to get you 3 into top shape to enter the Chunin exams. You don't have to pass, nor get the promotion. However, you must give it your all. You guys are Konohagakure's strongest genin team at this point, and if you aren't yet, you will be before the exams. So let's get started. The Chunin exams already? Sakura asked. Yes, Lord Hokage believes you are ready, as do I. The Jounin, I smiled at them. Ready to get started then? The 3 responded together. Let's do this. Over the course of next 2 weeks, the Jounin hammered tactical thinking, small unit tactics, first aid knowledge, and just about anything he could get them to learn that might help. He began to train Naruto in the use of the 4th Hokage's hummingbird fist. This was a taijutsu style not only made for use of extreme natural speed, which at this point Naruto had in spades for a genin, but also for use in conjunction with the flying Raijin jutsu when Minato had developed it. Of course Naruto did not have this jutsu, but Kakashi saw it fitting considering the boy's kunai substitution techniques. It had been quite easy to teach to the boy, as Naruto already made use of handstands and fast reflexes during taijutsu bouts. The 4th had made extreme use of his teleportation, body flicker, and just plain natural speed to appear inside his enemy's guard. Once there, he had often made use of handstands to get a full range of movement for precision kicks. I reckon he could give Guy's student a run for his money. Was something Kakashi thought quite a bit while training the boy. The masked Jounin also went on to teach the boy a couple new jutsu, including water style, liquid bullets, the user spitting balls of water from the mouth at high speed. Another had been water style, water pistol, which in turn led to Naruto also learning the twin water pistol jutsu. And finally he taught the boy wind style, gale palm. With the boy readily armed and dangerous, Kakashi was sure he'd be an absolute force of nature throughout the exams. As for his Uchiha student, he supplemented the boy's jutsu arsenal with 2 new fire-style jutsu, which he had picked up quickly due to his now activated and fully mature Sharingan. Most of their time together, however, was spent on Sharingan Genjutsu, which would be incredibly important to Sasuke not only for the exams, but for his entire shinobi career. As for the girl, after making her undergo hard training to increase her chakra reserves, he felt she would be capable of learning new techniques. Among those were a few genjutsu, along with new earth-style jutsus. He refined her taijutsu and medical jutsu knowledge. They also made strides in increasing her physical strength. Both of the males on his team were terrified of her when she was angry, not that they would admit it. The three genin were a force to be reckoned with. Kakashi was honestly going to be surprised if they didn't wipe the floor with a good chunk of the competition. All that was left to do was wait and see. Boss! Boss! A small boy with a blue scarf yelled, chasing after the blonde. Naruto could still remember meeting the arrogant idiot in the Hokage's office. But since then Naruto had taken to looking after the boy, sometimes even teaching him some things. The 6-year-old had just joined the academy, and would turn 8 2 months after Naruto turns 14 this year. Sakura was also walking with Naruto at the time. What is it, Kono? The blonde boy asked. Boss, is she your girlfriend? Sakura looked stunned, and Naruto turned to the boy and smiled. No, she's just my teammate Kono. Ah, that's good because she's kinda flat. Konohamaru said blankly. Sakura's face turned to rage. Had Kakashi been there he would have been reminded of Kushina herself. Naruto looked at the boy with fear in his eyes. Kono, run! The boy saw his mentor's face and was terrified. He took off running for the hills. Sakura took off after him. Get back here, you little shit! Her time spent exposed to Naruto and Sasuke's foul language had made her pick up a few habits of theirs. The boy ran down an alley at top speed, taking a shortcut to a side street before running into someone. Ow! The boy said, falling on his bottom. You little shit, you're gonna learn your lesson right now. A male voice rang out over him. Kankuro, quit, you're gonna get us in trouble. A female voice called out. The Chunin exams were going to start soon. And Team 7 was about to meet their greatest adversary. Konohamaru! Are you alright? Naruto yelled, running to get around the corner before Sakura could really hurt the boy. As he turned it though, he saw something he hadn't expected. What greeted him was Sakura standing stunned in the street, and an older boy who held Konohamaru up by the collar of his shirt. Naruto was not happy to see that. Hey! What the fuck are you doing? The older boy scoffed. This brat ran into me and I'm gonna teach him a lesson. Put him down. Now. Naruto commanded. What are you gonna do if I don't? The guy said arrogantly. Only then did Naruto by pure natural speed appear inside the man's guard, holding his kunai to the man's throat. I'm not going to ask again. I didn't even see him move. The older boy thought, dropping the kid. Naruto disappeared and reappeared next to Sakura holding Konohamaru, who he then set down. Kono, run along. I'll catch up with you later. Naruto said in a no-nonsense voice. Yes sir, big brother Naruto. With that the youngster ran off as fast as he could. You two, you're here for the Chunin exams, right? The blonde asked. We are. But I'm gonna kick your ass right here for that stunt you just pulled. The teenager reached for the bandaged item on his back, when suddenly a rock hit him in the head, thrown from behind him. When he turned to look, his eyes were met with the blood-red Sharingan of Konohagakure's last Uchiha. A. You couldn't touch Naruto if you tried. And B. Random fighting inside the village is prohibited, especially right now. The black-haired boy said. Hey! You! Don't be trying to sneak up behind Sasuke like that. Naruto yelled, pointing behind the boy in the tree. With that a figure walked out, most notable feature being the kanji for love etched into his forehead. Kankuro. You're a disgrace to the village. The figure said. Well, you see, Gaara, it's like tea. Shut up or I'll kill you. The redhead cut him off. You're all shinobi from Sunagekure, correct? Naruto asked. Here for the exams? Yes, we are. The girl answered. Are you taking them as well? Indeed. Naruto said, his eyes then narrowing as he looked at Gaara. You, what's your name? They call me Gaara of the desert. What's yours? Uzumaki Naruto. I hope we get to fight, you two Uchiha. And with that the 3 sand shinobi left. Guys. Naruto shook his head. If you face him at all, especially without help, run immediately. You'll die if you don't. What do you mean run, Naruto? Sasuke asked. I could feel his chakra the whole time. He's just like me. And since he's from Sunagekure, I'd say he's the Jinchuriki of the One Tails. Another Jinchuriki? Sakura asked. Yes, it's likely I'll end up facing him. Either me or Sasuke, maybe even you, Sakura. I'd rather both of you forfeit immediately if facing him, but I can't force you. Just make sure you're content with dying. The blonde sighed. Kami Naruto, is it that bad? Sasuke asked. Ski, you know I never tell you to back down from a fight, so yeah, it's that bad. As your friend and teammate, I'm begging you to not fight him if at all possible. Naruto was staring at the ground as they walked now. Alright, it's settled. If I can absolutely avoid it, I won't fight him. Replied the Uchiha. Agreed. The pinkette confirmed her adherence to the request. Thank you. A light breeze blew outside the front door to the academy. The 3 Chunin hopefuls stepped inside and made their way up the stairs. They all tapped each other on the arm at the detection of the genjutsu set upon the door to room 201, that made it read 301. They silently walked by and continued up the stairs. As they prepared to enter the doorway, Naruto and Sasuke made a decision. Sakura turned the handle slightly and stepped back, and Naruto booted the door open hard enough for it to bounce as it impacted the wall on which it was mounted. He then channeled the slightest bit of the fox's chakra, and he and Sasuke absolutely decimated the room with killing intent. And the whole time they were grinning like idiots. Flashback. Hey duckbutt, what do you want, loser? I think we should make an entrance that says don't fuck with us. What do you mean, Uzumaki? The raven-haired boy asked. I mean, let's use our killing intent to scare the fuck out of as many of these teams as we can. I'll channel a bit of the foxes. If Sakura's okay with it, then yeah. This'll be awesome, you know. The Uzumaki cheered. HN. Flashback end. The entire room full of teams began to try to focus their combined killing intent on Team 7. Just as it began to overpower the murderous feeling Sasuke and Naruto gave off, Naruto made a power move and channeled even more of the Nine Tails chakra. This completely overpowered everything the other teams had, and they all turned away from the glares of Team 7, muttering amongst themselves about dangerous Konoha Nin. You two really are unbelievable, you know that, right? Sakura asked, bored. She had long since gotten used to Naruto and Sasuke using this combination of killing intent since they had experienced Zabuzas in Wave Country. Some of the foreign Nin were completely stunned by how she was seemingly unaffected, painting her as not being a weak point for the team. Hey guys, hope that's not gonna turn on us, Kiba said, approaching from the corner, where it seemed all the teams from their graduating class were situated. We're saving it for the real competition, mutt. Sasuke replied. What did you call me, Uchiha? You heard me. Sakura interjected. Sasuke, quit, it's annoying. At that the rookie 9 were all visibly stunned. She looked at them blankly. What? Nothing, sorry. Kiba replied. Impressive display. But that's going to attract a lot of attention, and the rest of you are being very loud. A new Konohagakure genin said, walking up to the group. He had come from a separate group of Konoha hopefuls across the room. Yeah, well, at least most know not to fuck with us, said Sasuke, rounding on the newcomer. And who exactly are you? In Kabuto, I've taken this exam a couple of times. Figured I could give advice to you all. A couple of times? Kiba asked. Doesn't that mean you suck considering you haven't passed? While this was going on, Sasuke was now struggling with Naruto's help to get Ino to let him go after she had jumped on him. Finally separating them, it was Naruto's turn to put forward a question. Got any info on any of the genin here? Yeah, I do. I've got it all here on my ninja info cards. Who do you want to know about? Gaara of the desert, Naruto said. Kiba jumped in suddenly. Uzumaki Naruto, and Uchiha Sasuke. Kabuto laughed. You make it too easy knowing their names. Gaara of the desert. 0 D ranks, 30 C ranks, 14 B ranks, and 5 A ranks. Wow, that's unheard of for a genin. Oh. And it says he's never gotten a single scratch on a mission. He also has control over sand for offense and defense. Uzumaki Naruto. 546 D ranks. They haven't even been genin for a year. Even being D ranks, that's still impressive. 2 C rank missions, 1 B rank and 1 A rank. Multiple high-level jutsu and unusually high speed. Kabuto laughed. Wow, not bad for such a short career history. Thanks. Naruto said, deep in thought. No one should know about the B rank, that was supposed to be a secret. Uchiha Sasuke. Same mission history as Naruto, seeing as they share a team, but Sasuke has no B rank, meaning Naruto did one alone. Sasuke has quite a few fire-style jutsu under his belt, and is no pushover in taijutsu either. Both he and Naruto shared the title of Rookie of the Year. The glasses-wearing boy stood. Well, that's all I got. Anything on the other villages here? Asked Sakura. Well, out of the big 5 only Senegakure is participating. Otherwise there's a team from Takigakure, along with Kusugakure and Amigakure. Otogakure is also here, but they're a relatively new village, and not much is known about them. Kabuto explained to the group. Upon hearing this, a group from Oto approached. Hey! I'll show you the power of Otogakure right now. We'll be one of the strongest villages soon. A bandage-covered genin yelled. He charged at Kabuto, and just as he was making to swing his gauntlet-covered arm at the Konoha Nin, Naruto appeared in between them. Landing in a handstand, he planted his foot in the Oto Nin's chest. Pushing off, he grabbed Kabuto with his other arm and disappeared. Reappearing across the room, the blonde spoke. Maybe you'll be stronger soon, but you're still a minor village. Might be a bad idea to go pissing off the big 5 right away. Wouldn't want to get squashed before having a chance to grow. His grin never left his lips. Kakashi's training to increase his speed to unnatural proportions was one of the best terrible things he ever put himself through. The Oto Nin looked positively livid, but a commanding voice broke through the air. Any fighting in this room from here on out is prohibited, and punishable by disqualification, a man with a scared face wearing a black trench coat said, having just appeared in the room. Alongside him was a set of Chunin. I'm Ibiki Marino. I will be your proctor for the first test. He growled. The first exam is a written one. Anyone caught cheating more than 6 times will fail alongside their team. Your test scores will be collective, so if one of your teammates fails, you're still out. This will be a 2-hour test. After the time limit, a 10th and final question will be given. Now take your damn seats and get ready. The genin that filled the room began taking seats, and tests were handed out by Chunin once the examins were seated. Alright, the test begins now. The scared man called out. Naruto looked at his test. They were extremely advanced questions. Most genin wouldn't know the answers to any of them. He was glad for Irika's insistence on him learning more advanced math and physics problems. He knew Sakura would be smart enough to answer all the questions, but what of him and Sasuke? I see, they want us to cheat. they're testing out ability to gather information without getting caught. The Uzumaki caught on quick. He now knew Sasuke would use his Sharingan, but what of himself? He got a crazy idea. He wasn't sure if it would work, but he figured he'd give it a shot. The boy proceeded to accidentally knock over his water. Quickly picking up the bottle and trying to look flustered, he began to focus on putting his chakra into the water now on the desk. It slowly evaporated, condensation building on the ceiling above the boy. He manipulated his chakra in the water to get the condensation to turn to a big droplet that then flattened, and turned into an almost perfect mirror surface. From there he kicked his feet up on the desk, leaning back in his chair with his hands on his head. He watched others fill out their tests from the mirror, and once he had all the answers stuffed into his mind he began to fill out his own. The Chunin began striking out team after team until the time was up. All that were remaining was the Rookie 9, Kakashi-sensei's self-proclaimed rivals team, and 4 more Konoha teams, including Kabuto's. Along with that were the 2 Otogekure teams, 2 Sunagekure teams, 2 Amigekure teams, and the 3 Kyuzugakure teams. Alright. Time's up. The big man yelled. Now. You must decide if you want to take the 10th question. If you don't, you will fail the test. What? Then of course we'd take the question. The Suna girl yelled. He glared at her for interrupting him. However, if you take the 10th question, and get it wrong, you will never be allowed to take the Chunin exams again. What? Kiba yelled. But there's people here who have taken the exams before. I guess you're just unlucky to have me as your proctor. If you choose to not take the question, you will fail, but you will have the chance to take the test again next year, the man explained. Now if you're not gonna take it, get out. A Suna team and a Kusa team both got up and left, and some of the other teams seemed to have their resolve wavering. However, when Naruto saw some of the Rookie 9 wavering, he figured it best to take a precautionary measure. Slamming his hand onto the table, he stood. I can be Genin and never make Jounin. But I'll still become Hokage one day. I'll surpass the 4th and all the other Hokage. Tough talk. Ibiki said. Looking around the room, he noticed that the boy's words had steeled the resolve of all the Genin left. Is that your final answer? No team moved an inch. Alright then, you pass. What? Came the scattered yells of many of the Genin. The goal of the 10th question is to see if you have the guts to be a Chunin. The ability to be courageous and survive any hardship, these are the abilities needed to become a Chunin captain. Those who can't put their destinies on the line, who cling to the uncertain future of theirs always next year, and walk away from their chance, those pieces of trash who can only make such cowardly choices do not deserve to become Chunin. He removed his bandana, showing his head full of scars. Some Genin audibly gasped. So, a window bust open, and kunai with a large banner attached impacted the wall, interrupting the scared man. The banner read the sexy and single Mitarashi Anko. Ibiki, the girl who had stolen the show, yelled. You let this many pass? Anko, you're early. No matter. I'll cut that number in half. She licked her lips and a few Genin gulped. Alright, shit stains. Meet me at training ground 44 in an hour. Prepare to start. A Chunin yelled as the Genin stood at the gates. Go! The gates were opened and the test was on. Team 7 was in need of an earth scroll. They entered the forest quickly, and got as far inside as possible before stopping. Naruto quickly made 15 water clones who set up a perimeter. Sasuke and Sakura began overwatch, and Naruto crouched down and placed his finger to the ground. Kakashi, having seen Naruto's sensor ability being seemingly in tune with his father's, worked to have Naruto refine and perfect this skill. He could now sense chakra over a range of a mile, just by placing his finger to the ground. Okay, a named team is actually trying to sneak up on us right now. They're due east. Let's do it quick. Naruto said, taking off with Sakura and Sasuke in tow. Right. They said. As much as Sasuke hated to admit it, Naruto made a good team leader. His strategies were almost unmatched as well. They quickly found the aim team, and before anyone could blink, Sasuke and Sakura had them all under a genjutsu, and Naruto sent his water clones in to dispatch the enemy as to be prepared for any traps. Finding none and knocking out the team, Naruto's clones waved the all-clear signal. Jumping down, they found the team did indeed possess an earth scroll. Let's knock out a few more teams on the way to the tower? Sasuke suggested. It couldn't hurt. Might lessen the competition for later. Naruto replied. I don't know about you two, but I'd like to set a record time. Sakura said. At that moment, a gust of wind more powerful than anything Naruto had experienced in his life ripped through the trees, uprooting them as it went and blasting the team apart. Naruto had no idea what hit them. Sasuke awoke. He heard screaming. It was a girl, Sakura? He thought with worry. No, that's not her, it was coming from off to his right. Help me! Came the screams. Sasuke ran over and found a giant bear moving to make a midday meal out of the redhead on the ground. Said bear was quickly fried by a fire jutsu, and Sasuke called out, Go find an examiner. Sorry, I gotta go. My team needs me. With that he was gone. Sakura awoke, and she was mad. Whatever had hit them really spoiled her mood. She was by no means happy. She heard a commotion through the trees. She then neared the source of the sound. Upon peeking through the dense foliage cover, she saw the Suna team Naruto had been so worried about. And now she saw why. She watched as the guy with the gourd wrapped sand around the AIM team confronting him. and she watched as he turned their bodies to paste. She immediately bailed and went off in the direction her and her teammates had last been together. Naruto woke up, something hurt a lot. He heard a noise, but it was unusual. Sounds like a medical jutsu? He thought groggily. His eyes fluttered open, only to see a pair of soft green eyes staring back at him. Stay down, your arm is broken. I'm a Konoha nin too, it's alright, the girl said. She had shoulder-length black hair that graduated to dark red at the tips. What happened? Naruto asked. We heard a huge crash from in front of us. When we came to investigate, we found you here. A boy behind the girl said. Actually, there were two boys. They were identical. Shit, I'm seeing double. Naruto muttered. The girl giggled. No, silly, there's two of them, identical twins. Hey, that's pretty cool, you know. Naruto said, slightly excited, but clapped his hands over his mouth at letting the verbal tick out in front of these new people. The girl giggled again. Looking at him, she smiled. Arms all good now. He stood slowly and punched his hand into his fist. Alright. Thanks for the help, but I gotta go find my team. Do you want help? One boy asked. Nah, you guys have an exam to pass. He smiled. I never did get your names? Kasahara Roku, one of the boys said. Kasahara Aiko the second followed up. I'm Takarada Ryuko. It's a pleased to meet you, mister? The girl finished for the group. Uzumaki Naruto. Your future Hokage at your service. He said, bowing dramatically, causing the girl to giggle again. Well, anyway, I gotta go. And then he disappeared, leaving the team baffled. Naruto was flying through the forest of death. He didn't know what was going on, but he could sense Sasuke and Sakura's chakra. It was spiking so high he knew his best friend was being pushed hard. When he saw the giant snake with a kusanin atop its head moving to devour Sasuke and Sakura, he knew he had to do something. He forced its chakra into his coils and took the fox's power. Someday I'm gonna be strong enough to protect my friends without you, Nine Tails. He thought. The snake barreled at the two genin who were paralyzed in fear. And it slammed into something before hitting the branch they stood on. Naruto stood in front of them holding the snake with his arms and back, bracing himself with his legs against the branch while facing them. When he looked up at them, they could clearly see that he was using the Nine Tails chakra. Ski, you're better than this, the boy said to him. And Naruto? The Uchiha asked in shock. Combo 5. Now Sasuke, the Raven finally came back to his senses. Right. He yelled and began weaving through hand signs. Naruto kicked off the snake and spun in midair as Sasuke and Sakura both kicked off the branch as well. Once close enough together, they fired their jutsu at the enemy nin and its summon. Wind style, great breakthrough. Fire style, fireball jutsu. The combo tore apart everything in its path as it rushed the kusanin. Consuming the nin in a ball of fire, the boys let out a sigh of relief, only to be met with an evil chuckle. Kukukuk, now that was quite impressive for some genin. However, you're much too dangerous with that fox, Naruto. Let me fix that. The nin was in front of him in seconds, and the enemy slammed its palm into the Jinchuriki's stomach. 5 elements seal. Naruto collapsed almost instantly. Sakura caught the boy and landed on the ground along with Sasuke. Just who the hell are you? She yelled. Kukuku, I've a lot of names, but you'd probably recognize me best as Orochimaru, of the Sannin. Sasuke's eyes widened, fear burning into them. What do you want? I simply came to give you a gift, Sasuke boy. The traitorous Sannin said. His neck stretched across the space between them in seconds and bit Sasuke on the shoulder. He screamed out in pain, clutching his new wound as he collapsed. I look forward to seeing you again, Kukuku, and the Sannin was gone. Sakura dragged both boys to a nearby tree with a hollowed-out underside. She laid them out to where they would be comfortable. Sasuke had a massive fever, and Naruto was out cold from whatever the Sannin had done. She set up a lot of traps and began using her medical jutsu and medical kits to help the boys healing along as best she could. A loud crack brought her attention to the field she had stuffed with her traps. When she saw 3 Oto nin jump down, she wasted no time. Konoha Ninan Luki, the loud and brash genin, was cut off by a massive explosion that ripped apart the tree line all around the clearing. Sakura stood kunai in hand, at the entrance to the hollowed-out tree. Look! I'll give you the chance to turn and go. But I won't let you touch these two. And so help me if we're fighting and they wake up, well, they tend to be protective of me. Sakura glared at the 3 Oto nin. Ah, fuck me, Dosu, this little bitch thinks she can stop us. The brash one laughed. Sakura launched through seals and smacked her hand to the ground. Earth style, earthquake slam, she called out, and the ground surrounding the enemy began to spiral inwards on itself, attempting to bury the nin alive. The Oto nin barely managed to dodge in time. God damn it, this bitch! The brash one yelled. The bandaged one, now identified as Dosu, then spoke in a commanding tone. Saku, calm down. She's obviously well prepared. He sighed. Can you get her? The female of the group shook her head in negative. Not at this range. The Oto nin stood, analyzing their options. What surprised them was when the pinkette charged out of her little bunker and jumped into the air. As she slammed her fist down into the tree where Dosu had just been standing, the entire thing blew away as if hit with a paper bomb. Flashback. Kakashi-sensei, we've been upping my physical strength, But I was wondering, how did Lady Tsunade get so strong? Well, that's actually a technique she uses, but I'm not sure how it works. Do you think maybe we could come up with our own version? We both know I'm good at punching things. Kakashi, I smiled at the pinkette. That's the spirit. I'd say we probably could pull it off. Over the next 2 weeks training for the exams, they had come up with a bastardized, chakra-wasting, cheap imitation of Tsunade's super strength. But it hit hard, and that was what mattered most. Flashback end. Zaku sputtered as they jumped back. What the fuck? Sakura simply grinned at the team. She was either going to rip them apart, or if they could prove strong, she could keep them held until the boys woke up. And thus began a game of cat and mouse between Sakura and their team. She wouldn't let them split up, she kept them away from her teammates. And she didn't let them lure her out of her field where she had traps hidden everywhere. They were only 2 hours into the exam, and already their team had ran into the biggest amount of trouble. We seem to have a knack for that, Sakura mused. Her next hit broke every bone in the female Otonin's body and left her a jumbled broken mess on the forest floor. And the games continued, 40 minutes later, and Sakura was tired. She couldn't keep this cat and mouse shit up for long. She was quite surprised when Zaku finally managed to slip into her guard and blast her away with his jutsu. She flew back, expecting to impact the tree only to be caught. She looked to see by who, and saw the familiar black hair of her Uchiha teammate. He set her down slowly and lightly. Sakura, who did this to you? Black markings trailed up his face from his shoulder. I finally hit the dumb bitch Dosu. Zaku yelled, landing in the middle of the clearing. Sasuke locked eyes with the boy. We've been sent to kill you, Uchiha Sasuke. Dosu then called out, HN. The boy grunted, funny because you're the one about to die. Sasuke was on Zaku in seconds, beating him before tossing him to the ground. You really seem to like these arms a lot, maybe I'll take them from you, Sasuke said, planting his foot in the back of the enemy genin. He began to pull, and the arms popped out of their sockets with a sickening crack. The boy below him screamed in pain. Sasuke began to draw a kunai, when a voice stopped him cold. Sasuke. Enough. Naruto stood at the entrance to the tree. Let's go, we're wasting time. Leave him, HN. The Sharingan wielder grunted. Fine, but only because Sakura wants to set a record. And with that, Team 7 left the broken and battered Oto team alone. 3 hours to complete. A feat in its own, but it was blown away by the Suna team's 91 minutes. But then again, Squad 7 had encountered the Orochimaru of the Sannin. The Hokage secretly met with them, and debriefed the team on what had happened. After which Kakashi took Sasuke away to seal his new curse mark. Naruto told Hiruzen of the traitorous Sannin seal, the one that had blocked the Nine Tails chakra, and in turn the Hokage saw he could remove it. However, until his chakra had time to rest itself per se, it royally screwed his chakra control, but he found he could still do his kunai substitution. So although jutsu was mostly out of the picture, he still had his natural speed and his favorite technique. The Hokage guessed it would be about a day or two before Naruto's chakra control would be able to be normal. By the time all the teams that had passed were in the tower and ready to go, the proctors knew they would need to hold preliminary matches. Team 7 had been warned of the preliminary matches beforehand. The Hokage felt if any team had the right to know, it was them. After what they went through in the forest, they needed to be prepared for the preliminaries. Standing on the main platform, in front of all the gathered genin, Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third Hokage, began to address the young nin. Some of you may have wondered what are you here for, why you came all this way and risked your lives for a promotion. The truth is, the Chunin exams are a substitute for war, used by the village to test their might against the might of another. You fight and die for your village. Some of the genin started to protest and ask questions, but a coughing man stepped up. Lord Third Hokage, mind if I take it from here? Of course, hate. The man stepped up, coughing a few times before speaking. I am Gecko Hate. He coughed a few more times before continuing. I will be your proctor for the preliminary matches. He bust out coughing once again. There's too many of you for finals, so this has to be done. He coughed some more, and he ignored the protests of many genin. I don't care what you have to say. The matches will be randomly selected. A screen popped out of the wall behind him. And the winner will go to the finals. The matches start now. Anyone who feels they are unable to fight may drop out now. The last Kyuzugaku team that made it dropped out as a whole. Kabuto dropped out, but his teammates stayed. The girl Naruto had met in the forest, Takarada Ryuko, quit as well, giving Naruto a wave as she left, which he returned. Kasahara Roku and Kasahara Aiko, the twins, also quit, and they looked like they needed to. They were quite beat up. On the screen 2 names appeared. Tamari against Tenten. Naruto cringed watching the bun-haired girl slam back first into the Sand Girl's fan. Lee tried to go avenge her, but his sensei stopped him. Dosu against Choji came next, and although Choji did well, he still lost to the Oto nin. Yoroi, Kabuto's teammate, took on Shino. This match bored Naruto to death. It was who could drain the other's chakra faster, and Shino quickly showed his prowess in his insect techniques. Naruto watched as Lee stunned the crowd, but was forced to continue watching when Lee had his fighting capability literally crushed. If it hadn't been for the interference of Guy, the bowl-cut boy would be dead. He got to cheer though, when he and Sasuke watched their pink-haired teammate absolutely body her longtime rival. Sakura ended the match with 2 moves. First she buried Ino in the ground using Earth-style Headhunter Jutsu. And then she held a kunai to the Yamanaka's throat. Many of the Jounin sensei were stunned by the lack of skill the blonde girl possessed, and Asuma had to shrink back in shame. The Kankuro guy from Suna turned out to be a puppet user who made quick work of Kabuto's other teammate. They got some interesting action from another team that had graduated the same time as Naruto's group. Konohagakure's team too, one of its members went against Shikamaru. The boy, named Luka Kenji, had spiky, dirty blonde hair with red streaks in it. He was dressed in a dark sweater, with dark red pants, and happened to be a swordsman. He was skilled but arrogant, and fell to Shikamaru's strategy quickly. The other two, Hinazuki Rika and Agus Mikazuki, were pitted against each other. The girl, dressed in darker clothes, having blue hair and red eyes, seemed to have high chakra reserves considering the amount of fire-style jutsu she tossed around. Her name sounded extremely familiar to Naruto, but he couldn't place it. The boy, Mikazuki, wore a green coat that was at least 2 sizes too big for him. He had on dark tan pants and combat boots. He stuck almost exclusively to one of Naruto's favorite jutsu, the water pistol, and twin water pistol jutsu. In the end though, the blue net overpowered him. Naruto then watched as Neji came as close as he could to killing Hinata. Naruto swore to the Hyuga prodigy that if they fought he was going to destroy him. At that moment Naruto then realized there were only 4 genin left to fight. The board shuffled names once again, and Naruto smiled. Uzumaki Naruto vs. Abumi Zaku, the latter having made it to the tower with Dosa and Kin, the girl having been alive but too injured to continue. Zaku however was able to have his arms fixed. Naruto planned to absolutely body this guy and avoid revealing too many skills. The Oto genin laughed loudly. I'm looking for some payback now, buddy. Naruto leapt down to the fighting area. Shut up. I don't care, he said, bored as ever. When a few Jounin glanced at Kakashi he just smiled. Begin. Naruto kicked off by slinging kunai at the other boy, who by dodging and deflecting, avoided injury. He struck out at Naruto, aiming for a taijutsu bout. That immediately backfired as Naruto practically appeared behind him and put a spin kick into the other male's torso, sending Zaku flying. The Oto boy landed on his feet though. He then snarled at the blonde. So that's how it's gonna be, huh? Fine. He stuck both arms out in front of him, decapitating airwaves. He yelled. As the waves of sound and air flew across the arena, Naruto stood blankly in its path. Only for the waves to affect nothing but a lone kunai on the ground. Lightning barrage! Yelled the voice of the blonde behind him, who instantly kicked the Oto nin into the air before throwing a kunai up at him. In a moment that made many of Konoha's Jounin go wide-eyed, Naruto disappeared and reappeared where his kunai had been. Performing a flip kick, Naruto sent the boy back to the ground, but appeared once again on the floor, where a different kunai had been seconds before. Only have 5 more chances for substitution, before this shit starts to hurt. Naruto grunted in his mind. That seal had really messed up his control, so the chakra hitting his coils hurt like hell. As the Oto genin came down back first, Naruto launched into a spin kick that sent the other boy to the wall. He impacted with an echoing crack. Naruto smiled. Zaku stood slowly, pain raking his body. What the hell was that? Meanwhile, Kurenai whispered to the boy's sensei. Kakashi, that wasn't what it seemed like it was, right? Now it wouldn't be fair to sell away one of my cute student's best tricks before a tournament now, would it? He laughed. But no, it wasn't. Maybe one day, but not yet. Zaku was beginning to prepare to charge Naruto again. You sure you don't want to quit now? The blonde asked. I respect your will to not give up, but you're really outclassed here. Shut up! Zaku yelled, extending his arms. Decapitating airwaves, Naruto threw a kunai to the wall off to the right of Zaku. Quickly substituting with it, he coiled his legs and sprung off the flat surface at high speed. Arriving at Zaku in no time, Naruto smashed his foot into the other boy's face, sending him to the ground. Naruto stood over him and held a kunai to the downed boy's chin. Winner, Uzumaki Naruto. The proctor announced, promptly following up with a cough. Hey, you're next, Sasuke. Naruto called to his teammate, then proceeded to jump back up to the viewing platform. Most of the crowd around him, however, was stunned. Mostly because they had just watched the boy body an Oto nin without so much as a single hand seal. For the Jounin, however, at least those who knew Minato, they were in shock. They had just watched a boy who looked quite a lot like their late Hokage defeat an enemy nin in a manner oh so similar to his very tactics. Hate then broke the silence. Ahem. He cleared his throat and coughed again. Uchiha Sasuke vs. Inuzuka Kiba. Heh, time to show you who's top dog, Sasuke. The feral boy yelled, jumping down. I'm already above being a dog, mutt. The Raven retorted, also jumping down. Begin. Sasuke and Kiba locked eyes, and Sasuke's flashed to that of the Sharingan. Seconds later Kiba collapsed to the floor, Akamaru desperately trying to wake him. I've locked him in a Sharingan Genjutsu. It's over. The proctor waited a few more moments, to give the other boy a chance to break it. However, as he moved to end the match, Akamaru bit down on Kiba's hand. Hard. Ow. Akamaru, what? The boy trailed off. Fuck, you got me in a Genjutsu. Did I lose? Not yet. The proctor answered. Sasuke moved to activate his Sharingan once again, but a burning pain from his cursed seal stopped him. Kiba got in a solid kick to the Uchiha's face because of the hesitation. Unfortunately for Kiba, Sasuke had managed to activate his Sharingan a few times during Rock Lee and Gaara's match, thus he picked up a few tricks. The two boys met in the middle of the arena, immediately trading blows. Sasuke was gaining the upper hand quickly. Kiba jumped back fully intent on collaborating with Akamaru, but Sasuke appeared beside the boy, kicking him into the air. The Uchiha followed close behind, and with a flip kick just like Naruto's he sent the dog lover back down. Unfortunately for Sasuke, he couldn't outpace the boy to the ground as Naruto had done. So in turn the Raven followed through with the kick all the way to the ground. Kiba was more than done now, not able to get up. And even if he could, Sasuke was now holding a kunai to Akamaru's neck. The proctor called the match there. "Alright, all match winners please come down," Hate said, following with a short bout of coughing. The group of genin destined for the finals lined up in front of the sickly Jounin. The Hokage came forward to stand next to the proctor. "You've all shown considerable skill, as well as the determination to be considered for Chunin. The finals will be held in a month. You will have time to recover, train and prepare." The elderly Hokage turned and left. "Alright, time to decide match setup." He once again interrupted himself with a bout of coughs. "You'll draw a number from this container." Naruto drew first. 1, 5. The female of the Sand siblings piped off. 3. Team 7's Pinkette said aloud. 7. Said the stoic voice of Aburame Shino. 9. The last Uchiha smiled. He was confident the finals would end with a battle between himself and Naruto, his best friend and rival. 4. Dosa smiled, thinking of getting paid back for the forest. 6. What a drag. The Nara really just couldn't be bothered. 8. Kankuro said with a cocky tone. 2. Said Niji. Naruto smiled, as he'd have the chance to beat that bastard in front of everyone. 10. Said Gaara, a sickening smile spreading across his face. Hate looked at Rika. "You'll fight the winner of the first match." "Okay, yeah, I got it," she replied in monotone. Hate looked at the genin. He smirked and started with the lineups. First match, Uzumaki Naruto vs. Hyuga Niji. Second match will be the winner of match 1 vs. Hinazuki Rika. Third match will consist of Harino Sakura vs. Dosu. Fourth will be Nara Shikamaru vs. Temari. Fifth match will be Aburame Shino vs. Kankuro. Final match will be Uchiha Sasuke against Gaara. He dismissed the genin, after which he took his leave to head home. Naruto awoke in his bed the next day. It was 8 in the morning, and he needed to make the most of this month for training. He figured he'd find Kakashi-sensei, and get the white-haired Jounin to teach him some new jutsu. Well, that was until he stepped out the door, and felt Dragon, one of the Hokage's personal ANBU, was headed straight for him. That said, he stood and seconds later Dragon was standing before him. Hey, how can I help you, Dragon?" the blonde asked. "Lord Third Hokage has requested your presence in the Hokage Tower." The stated simply. "Understood. I'll make my way there, unless you plan to body flicker us there?" The masked operative responded by stepping forward and placing his hand on the boy's shoulder, which led them to the Hokage's office in seconds. "Lord Third." The boy and the man said simultaneously while bowing. "Ah, young Naruto. How are you today?" "I'm wonderful, sir, but I was hoping to start my training for the finals today, so, could we be quick please?" the boy said. "Ah yes, but I think you'll like to hear what I'm about to tell you. Sir, I've arranged a sensei for your month of training. Kakashi will be training Sasuke, but you will have an equally adept teacher. Well, I did teach the 4th Hokage after all." The window behind Sarutobi opened, revealing a massive man with long white hair. He wore a horned forehead protector with the kanji for oil engraved upon it, along with a red haori. Naruto's eyes widened. Lord Jiraiya." It's an honor, sir," the boy said while bowing. "Hey, look at that. Sensei, this kid has good manners." "Ah yes, that he does, Jiraiya. Now since introductions have been made, why don't you take the boy off for some training?" Hiruzen chuckled. "What?" Naruto's jaw hit the floor as it finally clicked. "Wait, did you really mean I get to train under one of the Sannin?" The boy laughed aloud in joy. "Thank you, Lord Hokage, this means so much to me. I won't let you down. I have complete faith that you won't, my boy. Now get going." The village leader smiled. "Alright then, come on kid." "Right away, Lord Jiraiya. Enough with that formal crap, just call me sensei." Yes sir, Jiraiya-sensei." "Sasuke, I'm going to teach you the jutsu I created myself. It's a jutsu to be used to kill your enemies so that you can protect your comrades." "You created this yourself, sensei?" Sasuke was pleasantly surprised that the man who had copied over 1,000 ninjutsu had even created his own. "I was inspired by a jutsu of the 4th Hokage's, and I in turn developed this one." Kakashi slid through his hand seals, years of practice and refinement showing itself. His hand bust to life in a blue hue of lightning, while the chirping of 1,000 birds filled the air. "This, Sasuke, is the Chidori. I'm going to teach you this in faith that you will use it only to protect your village and your comrades." "I understand, sensei. Let's get started." The boy offered to the masked Jounin. Shino is currently training with his clan for the exams, so Kakashi called in a favor. And I'm happily going to teach you more about genjutsu and help you refine and strengthen your techniques. Said the red-eyed woman, no as Yuhi Kurenai. I appreciate your help a lot Kurenai-sensei, thank you for this opportunity. The pink-haired girl said, full of enthusiasm. Good. Now let's get started. Alright Naruto, do it again. Half of the month was already over, and the technique Jiraiya was currently teaching the prodigal son was almost complete. Naruto disappeared from one side of the clearing and reappeared in another, however he slammed headfirst into a tree. The old Sannin cackled at the boy's expense. You're doing good Naruto. You've almost got it down if I'm honest. The body flicker takes precise chakra control, and a sharp and clear mind to execute. Applications in combat are even more difficult. The sage had decided with the boy's uncanny love for speed just like his father, the body flicker would be the best weapon he could give the boy. Against Byakugan or the Sharingan, it didn't matter if your opponent could see your moves as long as you were too fast for them to react to it. The Sannin smiled as the boy stood with a groan, recovering from hitting the tree. Other than the fourth Hokage's natural speed alone, only he and Uchiha Shursui have ever mastered the body flicker enough to make the speed aspect of it useful on the battlefield. Although Minato would later become known for his use of the flying Raijin, he still executed a lot of his technique, and showcased his speed with this jutsu alone. I think I can get it this time. Once again Naruto disappeared from one place, and reappeared in another, kunai drawn, and combat ready. I did it! I really did it the boy smiled at his sensei. So what now? Well now, we spar so you can figure out how to use the body flicker in combat, because I believe you are one of the only shinobi capable of adding yourself to the list that only Minato and Shursui of the body flicker have their names on. They would battle in the field until dark. That's gonna do it for tonight Naruto, go get some rest, and tomorrow we'll continue to refine your body flicker, along with another technique I have planned for you. The Toad Sage finished with a smirk. He and the boy parted ways, the sage heading to the bar to spend time with the ladies, and the boy dragged himself into bed. The next morning, Naruto met the older shinobi at the training ground. Hey Jiraiya-sensei! The young man called out. Oh ho ho! Naruto, how's it going? Ready for a big day kid? Of course I am sensei. Alright let's get started then. We're going to spar for most of today, and then we will begin work on the other jutsu I plan to teach you. The sage grinned at the boy. During this spar I want you to go out of your way to try to incorporate the body flicker as much as possible into the hummingbird fist. With your high chakra levels it shouldn't be hard to keep snapping around and stuff, however you have to remember the body flicker dulls your senses while in use. It causes tunnel vision, and if you can't immediately regain the tactical knowledge of the battlefield, and just as quickly react to new threats, then it's useless. Got it? Yes sir! The boy waited for the sage to signal a start. The older man waved his hand and waited for the boy to come at him. Jiraiya was gonna go easy on the boy, but he wasn't going to let him hit him. He couldn't let that kind of blow to his pride happen. The boy zipped across the field at the experienced shinobi and launched into a spin kick, which the man caught throwing the boy away from him. The boy was at his side again, via body flicker. However, as the large man had told him, his senses were dulled. He barely managed to get enough grip on the battlefield to avoid the head-crushing punch the Sannin threw at him. Naruto flickered away, appearing by a tree and throwing a handful of shuriken at the elder shinobi. The shinobi simply dodged the spinning blades, only for his eyes to widen as the boy disappeared, a kunai appearing where he had been standing. That bright little brat hit a kunai in that group of shuriken. He knew I wouldn't block them, Jiraiya thought, spinning around to catch Naruto's hard kick aimed at his head. The boy, however, disappeared via flicker and popped up right behind the Sannin, swiping at him with a brandished kunai. The man caught his wrist and tossed him over his head. The boy tumbled a second, then righted himself, burning through hand seals, wind style, gale palm. A powerful gust of wind barreled toward the sage, and pushed him back a few feet. The man smiled at the boy. You're gonna have to do better than that Naruto. Oh come on, I'm already outclassed. You're a damn Sannin, don't start whining. Now come at me boy. Yes sensei. The boy replied, launching at the older male once again. Jiraiya proceeded to beat the boy up, and point out his flaws as well as help him correct them for the rest of the day. As it hit dusk, the sage stopped the fighting. He threw the boy into a tree fairly hard. Good, I think I've drained a good chunk of his chakra, that should make this easier. He thought to himself. Naruto! Come here a minute. Ah yes sensei. Coming. The boy ran over and the man smiled. He really was so much like his late student and his wife. Now Naruto, you know what a summon is, correct? Yes sir. Tsunade, Orochimaru, and you, all hold well-known summon contracts. You possess the Toad summoning contract, which you allowed your student the fourth Hokage to sign. The boy rattled off the facts like he learned them yesterday. Good, you do know. Now I think I've taken a liking to you boy. How would you like to be the next Toad summoner? Wait, what? Jiraiya-sensei, you don't mean? You really want me to sign it? Are you sure? Naruto sputtered out words in pure shock. Of course I'm sure, you idiot. Especially because if you make Chunin, I'll take you as my apprentice. The Sannin said, smiling. What? Are you sure? Why would you take me? I'm not special, I don't know what to say. There's no reason to take me as an APPR. The boy was in pure shock at this point, barely getting his words out when the sage interrupted him. I have my reasons, Naruto. But let's just say you remind me of my last apprentice quite a bit. The older man smiled fondly at the boy. Minato and Kushina, I'm sorry I wasn't there for him for so long, but I won't let you down anymore. He's just so much like the both of you. You'd be so proud. The man thought of his last student, and how he had no doubt this boy would surpass him. So what do you say, Naruto? Thank you, Jiraiya-sensei. I'm honored. This means the world to me. The blonde smiled up at the white-haired man. Alright, let's get to work then, the man said. By nightfall, Naruto had already summoned Gamakichi, which was a feat in its own all things considered, but Jiraiya knew he had to get this done while the boy's chakra was low. Alright, Naruto. To summon a larger toad, you are going to need more chakra. It's time for that big fur ball in your gut to pay some rent. Yes sir, but how do I do that? He grabbed Naruto by the shoulders and gave a simple reply. Well, don't die, he said, and threw the boy through the air. The smaller shinobi was in so much shock he didn't even think to substitute. And so he found himself falling into an absolutely massive crevasse. I'm gonna fucking die. That old shitty perv. I'm gonna kill him. Naruto fell and suddenly found himself in a sewer. What the fuck? Where am I? Come here, boy. A massive, deep and echoing voice ripped through the tunnels. He walked along them until he came to a doorway. What he saw when he stepped through shocked him. A massive room, with a massive cage to match. And so my jailer finally has the nerve to visit me. The same deep voice rumbled from the cave. Show yourself. I know you're in there, Nine Tails. A massive fox with 9 swinging tails appeared and stepped right up to the gate. Do not order me like some animal, mortal. Well, sorry. But look, we're both stuck with each other, you know. And well, I don't want to die, and I'm sure you don't either. So well, help me help you not die. If you're willing to lend me chakra, I'll do everything in my power and more to keep us both alive, Naruto said to the massive demon fox that had destroyed his village. The 9 Tails was honestly stunned. Never in a million years would he have guessed this little shit that his previous container and her stupid Hokage husband had created would come and for the most part ask kindly for his chakra. He only had one thought at that moment. What the fuck? So what do you say, wanna be partners? The 9 Tails growled at this, causing Naruto to rephrase his question. I mean, wanna be associates, and we can benefit each other? You're definitely different from the others, you stupid brat. I don't trust you, nor do I like you or your despicable village. However, I do not want to die, nor do I wish to have a weak host. Become strong, so I can kill you as a worthy opponent one day. The demon fox growled out at the boy. I don't like the idea of dying too much, but yeah, sure sounds good to me. The fox almost huffed in amusement, but held back. Good, now get out. Naruto then found himself falling once again. Now however he sensed the powerful chakra of his burden, and flashed through the summoning hand seals. Ninja art, summoning jutsu. At this the massive hulking form of Gamabunta, the boss toad, appeared within the crevasse and halted their fall. What? Who the hell summoned me? Jiraiya. Where the hell are you? Excuse me, Lord Gamabunta, I summoned you. I am Uzumaki Naruto. I'm a shinobi of Konoha, the Jinchuriki of the 9-tailed fox, and soon to be the new apprentice of your summoner Jiraiya. Naruto said to the boss toad as politely as possible. At least your damn brat here has some manners, unlike you, Jiraiya. The toad called out. Alright, fine then, boy, I'll accept you as a summoner. We'll have to share a drink sometime. You bring the sake though. Bye, kid. Bunta threw Naruto back onto solid ground, and the boy waved goodbye as the toad disappeared in a huge cloud of smoke. Clapping was heard coming from behind the blonde, and he turned to see his new sensei approaching from the trees. Well. Look at you, good job, Naruto. What the hell did you throw me off a cliff for, you old bastard? Shut up, brat, it worked, didn't it? Naruto sighed. Yes, sensei, it worked. They conversed for a while, before they went back to training, and eventually both shinobi went their separate ways. Naruto and the Sannin trained for the rest of the month leading to the Chunin exams. Jiraiya would say that the blonde almost did have mastery of the body flicker, but the boy still needed time to fully incorporate it into his fighting style. This was it, the exams were here, and Naruto was ready to rock and roll. He was finally going to be able to put that damn Hyuga in his place. The boy was very excited for another reason as well. He would get to make a very dramatic entrance alongside Sasuke, Kakashi, and Jiraiya-sensei. Flashback. Naruto, come here. The boy quickly trotted up to his sensei. What's up? The Jinchuriki asked inquisitively. Well, 2 things actually. After your encounter with Orochimaru, we're fairly certain he may try to attack the village during the exams. The blonde's eyes widened, he was shocked. However, the old man wants to show me off. He wants my presence in the village to be known, in an attempt to deter an attack in the first place, as well as demoralize any assaulting forces. The boy looked at the man, a look of obvious confusion in his eyes. How do you plan to do that, Jiraiya-sensei? Well, kid, I'm going to show up with you in a sort of flashy entrance at the finals. Kakashi will be doing the same with Sasuke. We want to show off 2 of the strongest shinobi in the village, as well as the 2 most promising genin. I see, sensei, that makes sense. Indeed. However, on the second notion, you used to play pranks, right, kid? Yeah. I was super good too. Naruto responded, laughing. Naruto, you look a lot like my last apprentice. And I was wondering if you wanted to prank the hell out of those villagers who don't like you for your burden? Naruto looked excited but confused. Yeah. But how do you propose we do that, sensei? The Sannin pulled a large cloak from his scroll, a white cloak with orange and blue flames licking the bottom, just the right size for Naruto. I want you to show up in this. The sage laughed. You'll look so much like the fourth the whole village will shit a brick. Sensei, you're brilliant. This'll be awesome, you know. Naruto yelled, laughing in excitement. Indeed it will, boy. Now let's work on our entrance. Can't let Kakashi and the Uchiha show us up. The two shinobi smiled at each other. Flashback end. It was time. The finals were here. Naruto was about to rock the fragile minds of the entire village, but something had been on his mind since Jiraiya-sensei had gave him his new cloak. He looked in the mirror with it on. He really did look so much like the fourth Hokage. It was uncanny. The way his bangs framed his face, or the way his spiky blonde hair stood upon his head. It made him wonder, could the fourth, maybe just maybe be his F? No, that couldn't be it. A man like the fourth Hokage, a hero and shinobi so untouchable by normal people, couldn't be his. Oh well, no time to dwell. He sat and thought of his late mother. Reaching over to his nightstand beside his bed, he retrieved the picture old man Sarutobi had given him of her. He smiled. She really was just so beautiful. Watch me, mother, I'm gonna win this whole exam, and I'll become a Chunin. Wish me luck, mother, he thought as he set the picture down, sensing Jiraiya-sensei was about to reach his door. Naruto ran over and opened it before the man could knock and said, I'm ready, sensei. Jesus, brat. Don't do that shit. Anyway, you remember how we practiced, right? Yes, sensei. I'm ready. Alrighty then, boy, let's get going. The two shinobi disappeared in a swirl of leaves. They immediately met with Kakashi and Sasuke, the four of them all prepared to arrive in style. They stood in a hidden spot outside the exam stadium. Kakashi was stunned at how Naruto looked. The cloak sold it. He looked like a mini fourth Hokage. It's time, said the Sannin, and the four shinobi prepared to appear in the stadium. Genma was sad, having to proctor in place of his dead friend. Yugao was devastated, and rightfully so. She had lost her lover, after all. Either way, it was time. All contestants, please come forward. The Chunin hopefuls lined up a distance away from Genma. They were all confused at the absence of Sasuke and Naruto. Well, that was until a cloud of smoke filled the space between them and their proctor. As the smoke drifted away, they were greeted with an unexpected sight. Before them stood Naruto and Sasuke, side by side with their sensei standing just behind them. Many of the contestants and onlookers were shocked to see Jiraiya of the Sannin towering over the smaller blonde. But what threw off almost everyone in the stadium was the sight of their beloved fourth Hokage. The bangs that framed his face fluttered slightly in the wind. He was shorter than they remembered, and since when had he sported whiskers on his cheeks? Realization began to dawn on many, as they noticed the addition of blue and orange flames in place of the red, and the absence of kanji on the back of the cloak. Realization hit even harder as they saw just who they were looking at. That was the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. That was Uzumaki Naruto. And why did he look like a carbon copy of the very Hokage that had saved the village 13 years ago? Sarutobi smiled. Jiraiya really outdid himself this time. It was impressive, the way Naruto resembled Minato. The sight alone made the villagers question how they looked at him. A step in the right direction. He felt the Kazekage beside him stiffen ever so slightly at the sight of the boy and the Sannin. He knew this man was not the Kazekage. The old Hokage knew more than Orochimaru thought, but had hope, even though he knew it was futile, that seeing Jiraiya here would make the traitor hold his attack off a while longer. Dosu of Otogekure has not arrived and cannot be located. He will be disqualified, and Hinazuki Rika will fight Haruno Sakura in his place to keep the flow going. The proctor informed the crowd before continuing. First match, Hyuga Niji against Uzumaki Naruto. Jiraiya turned to his blonde pupil. Hey, good luck, kid. Kick ass. Smiling, he flicked off to the Kage box. Thanks, Jiraiya-sensei. At the Kage box, Hiruzen addressed Jiraiya's arrival. So my student, how did his training go? He's faster than ever now, Sarutobi-sensei. He's truly a terrifying force. There's no way, it's not possible he taught the boy that technique. No, of course not. It's completely unlikely. Jiraiya himself doesn't even know how to perform it. I myself couldn't even figure it out. Orochimaru thought to himself. Naruto stood across from Niji, staring the Hyuga down. Between my eyes and your fate. You will lose here to me. Can it, Hyuga? I promise you a beating, not a heartfelt conversation. Maybe after I'm done kicking your ass, but not before. Niji looked as if he was about to speak, but Genma interrupted anything the boy might say. Begin. The Hyuga prodigy quickly activated his Byakugan, only for his eyes to widen as he saw Naruto behind him. How? He thought. He quickly spun to intercept the strike the blonde had prepared, only to be met with the sight of the boy, behind him again, appearing in a handstand that allowed him to bring both his feet to bear and a vicious kick to the Hyuga's side. Said kick launched the older boy across the stadium, and into the wall with a resounding impact. Niji stood quickly. What the hell just happened? Your all-seeing eyes can show you everything I do. But it won't matter if you aren't fast enough to react to it, Naruto said from across the stadium field. Niji stood silent, not knowing what exactly to say in reply. Naruto suddenly threw a large group of kunai at the long-haired boy, who quickly deflected them with his own. The blonde smiled, and Niji's eyes widened as a kunai was suddenly where Naruto had just been, and he felt a fist smash into the back of his skull. Naruto had substituted with one of the kunai and immediately transferred into a body flicker to put him directly behind the older boy. Niji hit the dirt with an angry snarl. This wasn't how this was supposed to go. This blonde bastard was faster than Lee. How could he counter something he couldn't even react to? Niji stood, and immediately launched into an attack at Naruto. Just as his first palm strike was about to hit the speedster, he hit a kunai instead. He realized he had ran right past one of the previously deflected kunai as Naruto appeared beside him, kicking his legs out from under him and planting his fist in the Hyuga's face before he even hit the ground. Niji knew he needed a counter. And he needed it now. He jumped to his feet, throwing a smoke bomb on the ground. He knew at the very least he could see better in the smoke than the Uzumaki could. A Hyuga. You should know my team and I fought Momochi Zabuza, the demon of Kirigakure, one of the 7 swordsmen of Kirigakure. He was a master of the hidden misjutsu, and the art of silent killing. Because of that man I can fight just fine without my eyes. Naruto said to the older boy. It doesn't matter. You may be skilled but you will lose here. Niji channeled chakra throughout his body and pushed himself to his limits. He had to keep up with the blonde. The blonde flickered next to him preparing to strike, but the Hyuga was able to pull of his 8 trigrams, revolving heaven technique. Rotation. A dome of chakra spawned around the Hyuga, knocking Naruto back fairly hard. Hey, nice trick. Naruto said mockingly. I'm actually unsure of how to handle that. If he's able to pull it off before I move he might have a chance. It doesn't matter, I'll find a way. He thought to himself. As soon as the Hyuga dropped his dome, Naruto's body flickered to him, only to be once again met with a dome of chakra. How did he know I was gonna move? Ah shit, he's probably taking note of when chakra is focused in my body for a technique. How am I gonna handle this? Naruto was officially stumped. He had no idea how to get around this defense of the Hyugas. Niji smirked. The blonde was definitely stumped. It's time for you to lose. Niji charged at Naruto, managing to get close enough to start throwing palm strikes at the younger boy. Naruto, however, was fast enough to dodge most of them. A few of his tenketsu had been closed, but he would deal. The older boy came at him for a solid strike that was sure to hit, and Naruto made the active decision to substitute with a kunai. The Jinchuriki was unsure of what to do with himself now. Niji now has a solid strategy, and Naruto had to get around it. He smirked. He had an idea that might work. He sped through hand seals and 20 water clones appeared around him. You can make clones all you want, but I can tell the difference between them and you. The Hyuga taunted. That's not what they're for. Naruto's clones ran in at the older boy. Half kept their distance but the other half moved to engage. He quickly spawned another 20 that lined up behind his others. At the very least, if it came down to it, Naruto could win this fight through pure stamina. But that wasn't how he wanted to win. While the clones engaged with the Hyuga and were subsequently dispatched, Naruto laid out his plan. He placed explosive tags all over the arena in different locations to act as traps. He then began to gather chakra, and he knew this shit was going to hurt. A lot. He would probably win with it though. His clones were almost all gone by now, so he had to act fast. Instead of waiting for Niji to take out his last 5 clones, he body flickered right next to the older boy, managing to get a solid spin kick into his stomach before substituting with one of his clones so that it could take Niji's counter-strike. Naruto flickered into one of his many explosive placements, and focused his chakra. He had dispersed a ton in the air around Niji when he hit him, and as soon as the prodigy dispatched his last clone, Naruto made his move. He enclosed all of his chakra around the boy, and forcefully substituted with him, leaving the Hyuga confused, and in a 10 by 10 square of explosive tags, that Naruto then detonated. Explode! The ground shook and the Byakugan-wielding boy was launched head over heels into the air. However, Niji wasn't done yet and landed on his feet. He was battered and bruised, but not down. How? He practically growled. How did you move me? I have a lot of chakra. I forced it around you and substituted with your body, but it only worked because you were standing still. Naruto explained. I'm sure I won't get that chance again, he said, throwing another volley of kunai at the Hyuga prodigy. Niji quickly got out of the way and moved as far away from them as possible. Sorry Niji, but it's time I end this. Wind style, great breakthrough. Wind tore apart the ground as it barreled toward the taijutsu specialist. Rotation. A dome of chakra lit up around Niji, negating Naruto's jutsu. But just as Niji released his rotation and he came to a stop, he was facing kunai from 10 different angles. In the time it took the prodigy to defend against Naruto's jutsu, the blonde had made 9 water clones, giving all of them real kunai to throw, as he didn't want the kunai to disappear if his clones did. They all body flickered around Niji and had thrown their kunai. All the knives would intersect at the point that was Niji's body. The Hyuga was too off balance to return to his rotating motion, so he was forced to deflect and dodge the kunai. He deflected 6 of them and jumped over the other 4. However, Niji was in for pain, and he knew it. As he was about to land, the 4 kunai all flew away from him. Naruto appeared in place of one with a new kunai in hand, which he caught Niji lightly across the chest with. The hyuga was pushed back slightly, and Naruto appeared behind him, placing a spin kick into his back. Niji stared as the kunai he saw before him turned into Naruto once again, who planted his sandal in the hyuga's teeth. Launched back once more, he wasn't surprised when the blonde appeared behind him in a handstand, angling his body as both of his feet collided with the older boy's spine, sending him flying across the field and smashing loudly into the wall. Niji didn't stand again. Denkaseka! Finished the blonde. He was barely conscious as his back slid down the wall, and he landed on the ground. Naruto flickered into existence in front of him. The blonde leaned down to look him in the eye. Honestly, Niji, you did amazing. I can't substitute with a kunai again for the next 2 days. If that last technique hadn't worked, I might have lost. But you fight for all the wrong reasons. You need to reevaluate why you became a ninja. I know of your burden. I too bear one similar. Mine to many would be considered much worse than yours, however, but I don't give in to this seal placed upon me. I won't ever let it control me, nor who I am. You have so many people who want to be close to you. Don't throw that away. With that, Naruto held a kunai to Niji's throat. Proctor, please call the match. Winner, Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto turned to face the crowd, cloak billowing in a way reminiscent of that of their very own 4th Hokage. He fought so much like him, and he didn't even entirely realize it. He knew he took inspiration, but that was it. Brat doesn't even know he's almost fully recreated some of Minato's techniques. He really is impressive. Jiraiya thought to himself. The crowd cheered loudly for the blonde, something that slightly shocked the boy. He smiled at them, gave a wave, and returned to the contestant stand. Meanwhile, the medics came out and carried Niji away. As Naruto strolled into the contestant booth, he was met with Sasuke and Sakura. Wow! Naruto, you were amazing! The pinkette said to the Jinchuriki. Thanks, Sakura. Naruto. Sasuke called out. Supsuki, you're the one I want to fight the most. Out of all the challenges here, our battle will be the greatest. The last Uchiha said with a smirk. Better not lose your fight then. Naruto said back with a cocky smile, as if. But seriously, Sasuke. Naruto said, eyes growing serious. Be careful. You saw what he did to Lee, and I'm honestly surprised they didn't rig it for me to fight him, considering we are both Jinchuriki. But just don't die, got it, bastard. Naruto finished. Sasuke grunted in return. Will Haruno Sakura and Hinazuki Rika please come down? The 2 women stared each other down. Sakura remembered the girl faintly, but other than the preliminaries she was pulling blanks. She had watched the girl overpower her opponent in the preliminary match, so she knew she was strong. Let's have a good match. The pinkette offered. Sure. The girl replied with indifference. The pinkette studied the girl, taking in what she looked like. She had blue shoulder-length hair and red eyes. She wore a dark gray sleeveless jacket with a hood, but it was down, along with a mesh armor shirt underneath along with black shorts. She had bandages wrapped down the length of her legs, and on her right side she wore her bag for equipment, and was outfitted with typical sandals of the shinobi. One thing was out of place, however, and that was the long burnt orange scarf she wore around her neck. She had red marks almost like that of an Inuzuka, but they came up from the sides of her face ending below her eyes and were upside down. Like rins but pointed. Sakura had watched the Rika fight in the preliminary match. The girl had thrown around a lot of fire jutsu, leading the pinkette to suspect that she had fairly high chakra reserves. She would need to be careful, especially if she used the strength technique she and Kakashi had come up with, which she had dubbed the Haruno Fist. It consumed way too much chakra, and it was highly possible her opponent could win this match though pure stamina. Begin! Shouted out Genma. Sakura immediately launched forward, activating her strength technique. She intended to attempt to end this quickly. The other Konoha genin, however, was fast in her own right, jumping away and flashing through hand seals as Sakura's heel drop proceeded to decimate the ground she had just stood on. Fire style, foxfire. 10 balls of fire appeared around Rika, and with her hands she began launching them at the pinkette. Sakura responded in kind with a jutsu of her own. Earth style, Terra shield. A wall of earth rose in front of her, blocking the fire that aimed to char her skin. Rika once again began a sequence of hand seals. Fire style, flame bombs. She spat 2 large balls of fire that expanded upon impact next to Sakura's shield. The pinkette then came out of the ground behind the stoic girl, slamming her foot into the ground inches behind her, as she barely managed to dodge. The ground imploded where she had stood, but she managed to bring her body around and launch into another attack. Fire style, fireball jutsu. A burst of flame sparked from her mouth, engulfing Sakura, who immediately substituted with a log but had still received minor burns. Sakura was slightly ticked off. The other girl was faster than her, and she just couldn't seem to get the drop on her. She decided to subtlety cast Genjutsu, optic delusory, on her opponent. This made her enemy perceive her as moving slower than she was, allowing Sakura's next attack to land a solid kick into Rika's abdomen, launching the blue net across the field. Sakura smirked. Things were looking up. Rika hurt. A lot. Her whole body ached from that one landed hit. She couldn't get hit by that again. She had a bit of skill in medical ninjutsu, so she ran her palm over her lower body and healed as much as she could as quickly as possible. Sakura saw the girl begin healing herself. Crap, I didn't expect that. And note to self, learn medical ninjutsu. Sakura grunted. A war of attrition it would be then. This time it was Rika who charged in, engaging the pink-haired girl in a fast-paced bout of taijutsu that didn't leave her room to really get off a good high-powered hit. Rika took advantage of this, slamming her foot into Sakura's chest and launching herself backwards away from the girl. As she flew, she tossed a round of kunai, which had timed explosive tags attached. The resounding explosion shook the stadium lightly. But Sakura was alright. Beat up and starting to reach her limit, but she was alright. Fire style, Red Spider. Fire surrounded the female member of Team 7, and a spider made of pure fire charged at her, intent on turning her crisp. Sakura, however, had something up her sleeve. She punched the ground in front of her as hard as she could, launching enough earth and debris up into the path of the spider to completely disperse the jutsu. Sakura was tired though. Her reserves were almost depleted. The strength technique she and Kakashi had made was extremely wasteful when it came to chakra. Shit, I might lose this. Fire style, Dragon Flame Jutsu. A large concentrated stream of fire tore across the arena at the pinkette. She barely had time to dodge. When she hit the ground, Sakura made strategic decision. Proctor, I forfeit. My chakra is all but depleted, she said sadly. Winner of this match is Hinazuki Rika. The crowd cheered as Rika walked over to the down member of Team 7. She offered a hand to help Sakura up. I respect your skill. If I hadn't no medical jutsu, that kick you landed would have been the end of it. Maybe we can spar sometime. Thank you, you're of extraordinary talent. I'm really impressed. I'd love to spar sometime, Sakura said, standing with the help of her opponent. The crowd cheered some more, and medics came and helped Sakura away from the arena. Will Nara Shikamaru and Temari of Suna please come down? Genma called out, wishing to continue matches in an orderly fashion. The two opponents came down and prepared themselves. Although, Naruto practically had to kick Shikamaru out of the contestant booth. Begin, called Genma, and both contestants leapt away from each other. If you asked Naruto, he was extremely impressed by the amount of tactical thinking and strategic analysis that went on in this fight. It was rare to have the chance to watch two master tacticians battle it out. These kinds of battles were absolutely awesome to watch in Naruto's opinion. It also helped him improve and take tips from both fighters to help shape his own battle planning abilities. In the end, Naruto wasn't exactly surprised when Shikamaru decided to forfeit. The Nara was out of chakra and obviously physically tired. It was a sound strategic move on his part. Abirame Shino versus Kankuro of Suna. Will the contestants please come down? Before Shino could even move, Kankuro called out. Actually, Proctor, I'd like to forfeit. Fine, winner is Abirame Shino by forfeit. And next time you decide you're gonna waste people's time, do it in a way that doesn't embarrass your village, said Genma, making Kankuro recoil slightly. In the Kage box, Jiraiya whistled next to the Hokage. Oh damn, he really just roasted that kid, didn't he, Sarutobi-sensei? Yes, I suppose he did, Jiraiya. Hiruzen chuckled. Genma looked around the stadium. People were excited for this one. Oh well, it was time. Will Uchiha Sasuke and Gaara of Suna please come down? Both genin were on the battlefield in an instant. Sasuke smirked. He was going to wipe out this Sand Genin with his new jutsu and blaze a trail till his fight with Naruto. Begin! Sasuke immediately blitzed Gaara, proceeding to outclass the Suna Nin in speed and taijutsu. Gaara was getting beat and he knew it. And it was pissing Mother off, so he would kill this swine and give his blood to her. Gaara launched back, enclosing himself in a ball of sand. Suddenly sand floated into the air above him, gathering to form an eye. What the hell kind of technique is this? No matter if he wants to use this defense, I'll pierce it with Chidori, Sasuke thought. He ran up the side of the stadium wall to give himself a lot of distance. Monkey, dragon, rat, bird, ox, snake, dog, tiger, monkey. He held out his arm and it was engulfed in lightning chakra. Chidori! He called out while blasting down the wall and across the ground at Gaara's dome. Dodging the spikes of sand that burst from the dome upon his arrival, he slammed his hand through the dome and hit Gaara's shoulder. A cry rang across the stadium. My blood! It's my blood! You'll die here, Uchiha! A massive arm ripped through the sand dome, tossing away the Uchiha prodigy. Kaka-sensei! You gotta stop this fight right now! Shouted Naruto. I can't do that, Naruto. Trust me, Sasuke has this under con. No, sensei! Gaara's a Jinchuriki, like me, but the one tail. If this thing gets out of control, I see, responded the Jounin of Team 7. But before anyone could act, feathers began to fall into the stadium, caused by a mass genjutsu. Shit, Naruto, the village is under attack. I hate to say this to you because you know how I feel about it as well, but you're Konoha's Jinchuriki. I need you to go assist Sasuke and prevent Gaara from releasing the one-tails. I'll try to get back up to you. Now go! Yes, sensei! Naruto flickered down next to Sasuke, who was watching Gaara closely. Ski! We gotta chase this bastard out of the village. Now, got it! Combo 5, Wind Style, Great Breakthrough, Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu. A massive torrent of fire barreled toward the enemy Jinchuriki. He immediately took off, smashing a massive hole through the stadium wall and running into the forest. Let's go, Sasuke. Right. The two boys took off after the Chunin in hot pursuit. It would lead to a battle that would be well known throughout Konohagakure. What if Naruto can control up to 8 tails before Chunin exams? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoyed this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel, and leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down, and thanks for watching the video, and see you guys in the next video.